for journey
towards the conference title. The Bowl Coalition rankings also quite definitive for Miami. You take out Auburn, which can't go to a bowl anyway. Miami is 3, and they could wind up in the Orange Bowl against unbeaten Nebraska. And who knows what might happen from there. Those are the Hurricanes in the white. The Orangemen have already arrived. The place is jumping. Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan is down in the melee on the field. He'll go home with ear strain tonight. It isn't often that a building becomes part of your pregame comments, but in this instance, I think the Dome does.
Well, I don't think that Syracuse would have a chance in Miami last year, 49-0, but with this building, the 12th man, the noise will be a factor in here. They need to keep the fans in the game by scoring or at least staying in the ball game early. They have the #1 offense, rushing offense, in the Big East Conference. They need to get that going. The offensive line and quarterback Kevin Mason will play a big part in that offense today.
But they have not run up against the #1 defense against the run that Miami brings.
Well, you're right. You ask any coach about the Miami Hurricanes, and he'll talk to you about defense. This is a swarming, attacking defense. They lead the conference in every defensive category. They are led by Warren Sapp, the best defensive lineman in the country, and Ray Lewis, the middle linebacker, leads the conference in tackles. They are tough to run against.
It is a very good thing that we are indoors because dawn came with rain this morning, though the temperature remains unseasonably warm, about 70.
This shop is very much different now. Ford customers told us what they wanted. We have people up on the drive that greet them as soon as they come in. The car is written up within a few minutes, and once we get the repair order in hand, we get a pretty good idea where to go and what we're looking for. The top priority is fix it right the first time, on time. Quality care standards, it must work pretty good. We get letters, cards, a handshake now and then. You know, people let us know. This is what they want.
Quality care people, quality care standards at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Do you know what Hitachi makes? Ready? Go. Does Hitachi make camcorders,
yes,
barcode readers,
yes,
hydroelectric power equipment,
yes,
clown noses,
no,
power tools,
yes,
TVs,
yes,
MRI systems,
yes,
beanies,
no,
oscilloscopes,
yes,
micromotors,
yes,
mass transit trains,
yes,
tongue depressors,
no,
PBX phone systems,
yes,
catnip,
no,
semiconductors,
yes,
lots of products,
lots,
over 20,000. Yeah, but who's counting?
Every company has an Edwina, the planner, the organizer, the one who tracks your packages. Only today, she's out sick, and you have to track them yourself. Luckily, she uses UPS. Just pop in our tracking software and you'll know when your package was delivered and who signed for it in seconds. Now, if only you could use it to find the bathroom key.
The temperature never drops below 0. That's very important to remember, especially at a time when
his preparation. And he said when you come to an environment like this, it is very restrictive in your game plan. You have to come up with a play that works in most circumstances so you don't have to audible. If he gets in a situation where he has to audible, it's going to be a problem for the offense and the defense because these people really go for it here at the Carrier Dome. Keith?
All right, Swanee. The Orangemen take the field. They will kick off. Olinda Murray out of Pembroke Pines, Florida, came from community college, will put it on the tee, and he will be kicking to very dangerous receivers for the Canes. Jamie German, a wideout. Al Shipman, a running back. Shipman, in particular, number 32, can fly. He may be the fastest of the fast. And that's a pretty quick group that comes out of Coral Gables. Al Hines is the referee. Michael Sinchesky, the umpire. Line judge is Gerald Height. Ted DiFilippo is the side judge. Field judge is Tom Beck. Matt Fitzgerald, the linesman, and Mike Donato, the back judge. And at this point, we've got just over 50,000 people in the Carrier Dome, and the game is on. Deep into the end zone to Shipman. Miami will come out to the 20, 1st and 10. And at quarterback for the Hurricanes will be number 11, Frank Costa. who's running along this year at 53%, 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Over his career in 12 starts, he has 56% completion, 18 touchdowns, and 18 interceptions. He can be brilliant in one series and not so in the next. Consistency has been the thing that Frank has pursued diligently this year. James Stewart, 235-pounder, is the single back. He took his time on the count, has a good long look, and dumps off to Stewart. Stewart is hit at the 25, has the power to take it to the 27, as Darrell Parker, a strong safety, and Antoine Pons brought him down. Stewart is a horse. I think that's the best way to put it, because at 6'3", 235, the junior from Vero Beach has speed. He has everything. He's going to be somebody's great running back on Sunday. And the wideouts, look at the size of them. Jones 6'4", Daphnis is 6'3", and you've got two others waiting to come into the ball game who are at 6'4" and 6'5". So the receivers are quite large, quite lanky, tall, good jumpers. This time the ball is given to Stewart inside. Syracuse reacting very well, will contain him about the line of scrimmage. It took a lot of people to do it, but they got it done just about the 29-yard line. So they'll be looking at 3rd and 1. Casey Jones is said by Dennis Erickson to be the best center he's had at Miami. That just might have been a pat on the back day for Casey. He is good, but there are a lot of good centers around the country, and Dennis Erickson has coached some of them. But Casey Jones is rock solid in the middle, a sophomore out of Midland, Texas, with 2 years remaining.
And because of that offensive line, Keith, the Hurricanes are running the ball better this year than they have in the last several.
Derek Harris, the tight end, comes in as the extra blocker on 3rd down and 1, and they go to his side. Stewart carries across the 30, up to the 31, and gets the first down. So the Orangemen give up the first down grudgingly, but they do have to give it up to the power of Stewart. Dan Conley and Antoine Pons are the linebackers on the inside. Conley is well advertised as having had 10 knee operations. Antoine Pons is also dinged up considerably from the earlier part of the season. The down 3 guys, the big guys in the front, need to get some pressure. That would help Syracuse tremendously. Out of the shotgun, the pass is deflected. It's intercepted. It is a great play by Dan Conley to keep the ball in the air and come down with it for the interception. It was Kevin Abrams who made the first contact on it and forced the ball on the tip.
Syracuse went to a nickel defense because Miami went to 4 wide receivers. The ball was tipped up in the air and intercepted. Here's Conley. He's a middle linebacker out over one of the wide receivers. Nice play there by Abrams, the quarterback, and Conley gets his first interception of the year.
That is Costa's 11th interception.
But not his fault.
Can you imagine a kid who's had 10 knee operations playing football like that?
He says, this is the reason I went through all that, to play against the Miamis and the Boston Colleges of the world, who are a big rival of Syracuse.
First down from the 45-yard line. Into the middle goes Kirby Dardar, a senior out of Tampa, and there's not much there. Kevin Mason waited his turn, and did you know that he was the number 2 rated passer in Division 1A quarterback standings? He waited and waited and waited, and finally Marvin Graves was gone, and Kevin Mason got his chance, and he has been the starter all season long.
And he's improving, Keith, each game.
Both teams coming into the ball game at 6-1. Here's your option. Mason turns it up and runs it down to the 36-yard line. That is a yard short of the first down. He looked a little surprised that he had that much room.
He did.
As he turned up the field. Kirby Dardar, who has a big fan club here in Syracuse and up and down the coast, come out of Tampa to play ball at Syracuse, 188-pounder. He's real. He's a good one.
A big fan club, huh?
Yeah. There's Geraldine, mama. Perry Morris is a 217-pound sophomore, the fullback, as they go to a wishbone set now. They're 54% this season on third down conversions. And the crowd is very respectful, as you can see, for the home team as they grew quite quiet and waited for the snap count. Ray Lewis brings down Dardar, but he gets the first down.
We mentioned Ray Lewis, number 52. He's a sophomore, leads the Big East in tackles, knows where it's going, gets into the backfield, gets a part of the tackle, but not enough for the first down for Syracuse.
And Lewis is a true sophomore out of Lakeland. Started last year as a freshman when injuries forced him into the game. As a matter of fact, he showed up very big in Colorado last year.
He's an outstanding player. Great leader also.
Mason back, keeps the ball, looks downfield, pulls it down, takes off, and takes the lick. Well, I can tell you what, they blew the whistle, and depends on where they mark it, but they blew the whistle pretty early, long before he was on the ground. The first hit was by C.J. Richardson. The offensive front for Syracuse, and these are the people that have to hold the fort today if the Orangemen are to have any success. Wallabaugh at the center is the anchor for it, 6'4", 294, a senior from Hamburg. The ball is put down at the 30, so they gave him all that he had earned, even though the whistle did sound a bit early. Second down and 5. Ball at the Miami 30, go the other way with the option. He's got daylight over there. He's got a first down. He's still going. He's inside the 20, out of bounds at the 17-yard line. It is the defense that is the real true strength of these Miami Hurricanes, however, as they are anchored in the middle by Pat Riley and Warren Sapp, and Sapp in particular is heralded as a great defensive lineman, but Riley ain't bad. And if you get past those two, then you got that howitzer looking at you in the middle, Ray Lewis. The DBs are good. The corners particularly agile and quick. Richardson is the headhunter in that crowd. He will take a piece of you with him if you get in his neighborhood. It is first down at the 17 of Miami. Ball is handed inside to Dardar. And some nifty running by Kirby Dardar puts the ball down near the 10-yard line for a 7-yard pickup.
From behind the offense, number 74 pulling is the left tackle. That's Tootin. He gets a block on Lewis. A nice job by the interior linemen, Woolaball, Prescott, and Ellsworth. Nice pickup for the Orangemen.
Timeout charge to Syracuse. At 9:43 to go in the first quarter, the Orangemen are threatening.
Years ago, Lexus set out in search of a new path. There were no markers, but we found our way. A way to build things better, stronger, smoother, faster. Which took us places we never dreamed possible. We at Lexus would like to thank those who had faith in our original journey and who are with us again as we embark on a new one. Care to join us?
Start a project with Minwax Wood Finish and turn new into treasured, secondhand into first-rate, ordinary into extraordinary, because Minwax Wood Finish makes it easy to turn any project into a beautiful masterpiece. Minwax makes wood beautiful.
My dandruff and itch are awful. I'll try anything. Denorex tingles. Head and Shoulders doesn't.
Both have effective dandruff medicine, but Denorex has something extra that tingles, feels fresh.
That's why I started using Denorex. No flakes, no itch.
Denorex, the serious dandruff shampoo.
The Cowboys are riding high in the NFC East, but the Giants need a win to get them back in the horse race. Rivals collide on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Hurricane defensive coordinator Greg McMacken. Hurricanes have not allowed an offensive TD in the Big East this year. Trying to call timeout. Must have too many players on the field. Somebody's trying to run off.
He got him off.
Confused.
Now he still wants a timeout because they're confused.
Yep.
And Syracuse came out in the I formation, which they had not seen. And he wanted timeout to get his troops organized.
Well,
so a little shaky start here for the Miami defensive corps as they get a little off balance in the dome, and it's not hard here, folks. I'm telling you, Nebraska came here in 1984 ranked #1 in the country and got beat 17-9, so it can happen. Next Saturday there's a college football doubleheader here on ABC Sports. It begins at noon now, 12 o'clock noon Eastern time next week. That's 11 in the middle of the country. Lou Holtz and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame will be down in Orlando against the Florida State Seminoles. And you know there's going to be some feeling in that ball game on the part of the Seminoles. Then at 3:30 Eastern time, the #2 team in the country, not in my opinion, but in the opinion of some, undefeated Penn State tackles Big Ten rival Illinois at Illinois. Very big, very big. And then undefeated Alabama will have Mississippi State. So check your local listings for the game in your area, or check with your cable operator for pay-per-view.
and the Notre Dame FSU game is at noon?
Yes, yes.
Noon.
Paul Pasqualoni, 4th season Syracuse. You can see his record there. Very intense man. Very intense. Been here a good long time. Coached under Dick McPherson here. He's a Penn State graduate. But now we finally get around to 2nd down and 4, and here they come. Inside the 10, Malcolm Thomas, a sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida, who almost went to Georgia Southern, but decided finally to come north, and they're tickled to death to have him in Syracuse, and he is a burner.
Well, one of the things in talking to the defensive coordinator for the Hurricanes, McMacken, he said, we're just going to play it basic the first series. Syracuse has played one game in the last 26 days. They've had 2 bye weeks, and in between those bye weeks, they played Temple. He said, we're not sure exactly what they're going to give us. We're going to play it plain and simple till we see a couple of drives and see what they're doing.
They've got it 1st down and goal at the Miami 6. They give it to Dardar, and he will lose. Number 90 made the initial contact. Kenny Holmes, a sophomore from Vero Beach, and there's a loss on the play of a couple of yards. That time the Miami defense fired. I mean, they really came, and you'll see that a lot. They do that in order to keep the double team off Sapp. Second down and goal now from the 8. Double wide to the right. Tight end is over there. Syracuse is always thrown to the tight end. Forced in the middle by Warren Sapp, number 76, and right behind Sapp came number 54, James Burgess. They turn him back in and get him at the 10.
Sapp is 2nd on this team in tackles, and it's very high for a defensive lineman. Number 76 in the white jersey just blows up field. He is right in the quarterback's face. He's quick enough. He's 2nd in tackles. Doesn't get that one, but he should have gotten credit for making the play. He makes the players around him so much better because of his quickness.
It is 3rd down and goal, and they have moved from the 6 back to the 10. Pass. Ball is deflected. Miami pops on it. It was not a forward pass. It was knocked loose before the ball started forward, before the arm made a move. Warren Sapp did it. Miami has the ball, and Syracuse is turned away.
Well, as advertised, 76, Warren Sapp. We talked to him about him before the game. There he is. And if there's any doubt whether if it's a fumble or an incomplete pass, the ruling is incomplete pass.
But there was no doubt in the judgment of the 3 officials who were within 15 feet of it. Miami takes over the ball 1st down at their own 14-yard line with Stewart, the single back. He's got the ball. And he comes barreling across the 20 to the 21. He picked up about 7 yards on that carry. When they lay their ears back, that is a ferocious defense.
defense is all right for Syracuse, but the offensive line in this running game is pretty good for Miami.
So the offense given the opportunity here by the defense. Second down and short 4, long 3. Stewart again. Not much this time as the Orangemen gang up and bring him down.
Let's go back and take a look at the 4th down play. Syracuse passing the ball. 4th down. One of the problems was he didn't get the center exchange clearly. His arm is going up, and that is all that you have to do to declare it an incomplete pass. His arm was going up. The motion to throw the ball was in progress.
3rd down and 1. Stewart didn't get there, and Miami will have to punt it away. The Syracuse defense reacting well. Now let's find out what's been happening with the Penn State Nittany Lions. Here is John Saunders.
Well, Keith, the question this week, who's number 1? Penn State, Nebraska, you make your choice, but how about Kajana Carter now as the front runner for the Heisman Trophy? Certainly looks like it on this run. 80 yards on the carry for a touchdown, 20 carries for 192 yards and an average of almost 10 yards a carry. They lead. Keith.
The punt is away by Dane Pruitt and kicks out of bounds downfield. Did not go out of bounds. It stayed right on the chalk and just kind of wobbled its way down about the 30-yard line. So he got about 20 yards on the road. And it'll be Syracuse ball, 1st down at the 30.
It could only come from here. Canada, the home of ice. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be colder and bolder. Yet smooth as ice.
College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Lexus, makers of the faster and roomier 1995 LS 400. By the beer that's colder, bolder, yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice from Canada, the land where ice was born. Old Spice Sensitive. It's alcohol-free to take the heat out of aftershave. And Payne Weber. We believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships.
So look at the last punt. Syracuse knows Miami has had problems. Special teams.
24 was kind of there, and the foot came down on the shoulder pad.
Yeah, but I think Pruitt, the official was there, and he ruled that Pruitt left his foot out and tried to make the contact. I think that's a good non-call.
All right, Syracuse to the ball, 1st down, 30-yard line. Last time they had it, went 10 plays, didn't get any points out of it. Edmund Robinson and Malcolm Thomas are in the backfield as Mason hands off inside to the fullback. And Robinson, a 215-pound sophomore from Bensalem, Pennsylvania, will pop in there for a couple of yards on the play. pretty sure that we've gone past 50,000 in the Dome today, because every ticket, this was the toughest ticket they've had around here in a while.
Yes, it was. First sellout of the year, too.
Second down, call it 7. Mason still got it. He's got a man if you let it go, but he held on to it. Now goes over the middle, and he's incomplete. And there is a penalty flag downfield, and Miami is going to get whacked with a penalty here, I think, because Kennard Lang, the defensive end, decked the quarterback over there, and it was Sherman Wilson who came over and separated C.J. Richardson from the ball. Personal foul against Miami. It happened on the sideline. Richardson, in the meantime, is shaken up after the collision with Sherman Wilson. Richardson had the ball intercepted, and but let's go back to the Lang thing with the quarterback. Now the ball's clearly gone. They're on the sidelines. The shove out of bounds. Yellow flag.
That's just a bad play by Lang. He lowered his head once the ball was thrown by the quarterback.
On the defense. 15-yard penalty.
Once he lowered his head, he didn't see when the ball was gone. He was just going to hit him. He ran all that way. He says, if I run this far, I'm going to hit him.
But that collision between Wilson and C.J. Richardson, C.J. had the ball in his hands and had it intercepted. Now watch this collision.
Well, number 6, Sherman Wilson right there saves an interception because Richardson was ready to intercept the ball.
Wilson weighs 220 pounds. He's going that fast. That's quite a collision. First down after the penalty now. The ball comes out to the 48-yard line. And Mason got a problem. Throws the ball sideways, and he's almost overrun by the Miami defense before he can get rid of it.
Good term, Keith. It's just the quickness of this Hurricane defense forced him to throw it so quickly that he wasn't ready for it.
Tonight, an ABC family movie premiere. One of your favorite stars back, Ernest, Scared Stupid. Tonight, followed by an all-new commish here on ABC. So put the ball after the errant pitch back at the 35-yard line, and C.J. Richardson checks back into the ball game now. Second down and 21. Mason chased out of the pocket. Throws underneath to Wilson. And Sherman Wilson is knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line, so it'll be third down and about 13 for Syracuse. You know, there are some big plays to be had against Miami when they're in this sellout mode, but they just don't give you a chance to get rid of the ball.
It's got to happen very quickly.
Yep, it really does.
You got to be ready, and you got to be quick. Florida State wins. Yellow indicates the game is over, and that is the winning team. Florida State winning big over Georgia Tech, who came out in yellow uniforms today also.
Third down and 13. Low snap. Mason gets his pass off, throws it very, very hard, and the pass is incomplete. It was off the hands of Malcolm Thomas, and James Burgess just jumped all over him. Big old linebacker just flattened him. So it'll be punting time for Syracuse. The defenses are holding up pretty well. A&M was stunned last week by SMU. Dukes bounces back to beat Virginia today.
What a shocker that is.
Bit of a surprise, huh?
Yeah.
Sean Reale is in the ball game, averaging 42.5 yards on 30 punts. Jamie German is waiting. He can haul it. It's a good punt. It's a dandy. Kicks into the end zone. Will come out to the 20. 55-yard punt by Sean. And we'll see the Hurricanes trying to get it cranked up in a moment.
What time will my daughter be home?
The passive type probably plays Nintendo.
What time will my daughter be home?
And you've got Larry Jones in at the silverback now, 240-pound running back. Conley drops out. Reedy pass. Throw it right down the middle, and he read it right, but couldn't get to it. The ball is thrown to Gerard Deafness, tied it, and first down near the 40. The defensive secondary for Syracuse, Abrams, the two corner pretty good, too big. You've got to go 5'9", 5'9", 5'8", and obviously they'll be looking to match up those corners against those 6'1" wide receivers.
And those wide receivers of the Hurricanes, some of them, Jones and Yateel Green especially, can jump.
Tony Jones is unusually large for a safety at 6'5".
A lot of Joneses around.
I'll tell you, 7 over the mighty. This is Larry Jones carrying the ball, and Larry will have the ball at the 46 and to pick up what's on play. Second down, ball at 3. Jones behind the line of scrimmage, but Dan Conley, a blitzing middle linebacker. Kid's a marvel to me. He truly, really is. From Carnegie, Pennsylvania.
49, the upper right part of your picture. Blue jersey, see it all way. Is not as fast as he used to be. Still quick enough because once he sees and reads his key, he gets a step further than a less experienced linebacker.
So the loss moves the ball back inside 45 to the 44, and it's third down. And Makata gets his pass away, and the pass is incomplete and almost intercepted by Kevin Abrams. He stepped in front of Jamie German and almost came out of there with the ball. So Syracuse defense grows more confident.
They can line the quarterback. This is a great. Cott looks left all the way. Ball is thrown a little. That's why the defensive back for Abrams gets around in front of wide receiver. Poor timing there.
Ain threw it in for and punt. This will be returned. Marvin Harrison, a wide receiver, comes to the 40-yard line, and a penalty flag is thrown back in line. Look out for blocking in the illegal stand. 6-yard punt, 21-yard turn, but I think that 21 yards is going to be damage for the penalty. Yep. Get a lot at these days, don't you? Goes back to the rules change. They're free to the arm.
10-yard penalty from the side of the foul.
And took a blocking below the waist, too. That added to it.
One of the things that the Orange do is get some yards and some field position off of the special teams. It was a pretty good punt turn, but it's going to be negated by the pit.
All right, Roy Willis, Kirby Dardar set up the backfield. And the ball is back at the 19-yard line, and Syracuse is back up, losing because of mistakes here in the kick game. But this is Kirby Dardar, who comes busting up the middle and finds enough daylight to get out of there, get it all the way to the 31. So he picks up a first down, and now the Orange have a room. Brought down by C.J. Richardson.
Richardson back in the ballgame after going out on that near interception a little earlier. It's the 8th start of Kevin Mason's career, the quarterback. Like you said earlier, he waited 4 years behind Mark Graves.
Ryder again, and again daylight in the middle, and another first down as goes to the 44-yard line. What are they doing to Orange where they're finding room in the middle? Get past down right. And get them out of it.
Well, show you, I'm nothing. Sapp's right over the center, watches. Everybody's just going to straight block. Center football is going to take Sapp on man for man. Right there. And he just gets a good block for fullback. That's just straight blocking. And a nice job by that offensive line.
Malcolm Thomas is the tailback. First down to the 44. Thomas finds a little room over left side. He's thrown on back on Lang, but the throw to Lang was about a 4-yard throw. And it goes down as a gain. Got to throw him other way.
Take a look at the offensive line. Woolabaugh, that's Ellsworth. They're double teaming the over the nose tackle. Ledger 73 comes around. It ain't pretty. There's not a lot of room, but talking to George DeLeon yesterday, the offensive coordinator, he says, listen, you don't get big yardage to get Miami. You got to push it. You got to take 5 and 6-yard gains.
Second down and 7. There's your piece on it. Doesn't work too well. Dardar has to kick one out. Come back this way. He's got a away. First down. That's a Miami 43-yard line.
Freeze option was to freeze the middle linebacker. Now, good defensive play by the linebacker on the outside. Now you're right, Keith. He's got a convoy. There's only one white, bunch of blue ones. That's Wilson, number 9, and he did a nice job of just holding things off until he had some from his first.
Malcolm Thomas is back in. Ball on the 43 of Miami. First down, Syracuse. Mason drops back to throw. Lets it go deep. And it is incomplete. Intended for Shimon Wilson. But he had 2 Hurricanes running right in.
He did.
Number 9, Chad Wilson. Number Carlos Jones.
Poison in this offense. The Hurricanes played very well. You have to come up and play the option, play the toss man 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and then Pasqualoni and all of a sudden is going to go to the big one, and there's 2 Hurricanes there covering it.
Actually, by the time the ball came down, Pearson had joined the party.
Yeah.
3. All right, Dardar back in. It's second down and 10. Ball on the Miami 43. Dardar. Oh, there's some daylight in the middle of that line. They're running in and outside of those tackles. And he's all the way down the 30-yard line. Make it to 29.
Well, second down and 10. Long yardage situation. Defensive end is going to come upfield. Now watch the tackle. Ledger is going to come this way. A tackle trap. They're running inside the end, and Ledger 73 is going to block linebacker. Everybody else on the left side blocked down. They double team set. Good running play.
Dardar has 54 yards. He's got ball again, and he's getting pretty good pursuit on his back this time as a fellow named Lewis, number 52, comes streaming across the field to bring him down.
The plays that are working for the Orangemen are the ones that are going straight up the middle. Anything east-west where you have the beat of these linebackers, they're shutting it down pretty good.
And the first quarter is over, and the home folks there is no score after the first 15 minutes, and the home team is threatening.
Whoever said now is the win of our discontent never stood behind our windows. Owens Corner, we make the difference.
You have a cold. Doctors agree the best way to get medicine little by little throughout the day, but this is a little extreme. That's why Contact was in. Contact's tiny time pill technology works faster. You're running nose and stuffy head. It's releasing it little by little for 12 continuous hours of relief, like an IV. No ordinary pill like Sudafed or Dayquil can do that. Continuous acting Contact. Relief's fast, relief lasts.
1866, the world for IMOs invented by Werner Siemens. It began the C2 ruin at then. This is now. The duration, distribution, and control of energy are at the Siemens today. Where live and pay. And 45,000 people nationwide. Siemens leading the way in the next century. Siemens is thinking.
I was shocked to learn that most ordinary credit cards charge interest from the moment you buy something if you carry a balance as little as $1. Thankfully, American Express introduced a new credit card called the Omnibus Grace Card. You get an interest-free grace period on each new purchase, even if you carry a balance. But don't just throw away your old credit cards. Recycle them. I'm retiling my pool. Apply today and cut your interest charges.
Whoever said it's a cold, cruel world never had our insulation. Owens Corning. We make the difference.
Shelley Fabre and Bill Fagabaki of Coach discuss sports and education.
We're all concerned about improving American schools. What advice do you have, Bill?
Sports.
Sports? No, we're talking about education.
Shelley, did you know that 96% of all high school dropouts were not involved in athletics or other extracurricular activities? Sports is a great motivator.
That's a compelling reason to support sports for boys and girls in high school.
Support America's youth through high school sports.
As we look at the first quarter stats, Syracuse leads in plays and in first downs. The interesting thing right here, Syracuse rushing the football, 74 yards in the first quarter. Miami only averages in a whole game giving up 75 yards. They lead the conference and are 6th in the nation in rushing defense. Syracuse is doing what they wanted to do, and that is run the football.
They've been very stingy. Virginia Tech was what, minus 14 last week?
Yes, they were.
All right, Syracuse to the ball. It's second down and a little more than 10. You got Thomas in there, number 17. Dardar's in there with 42. Here comes a reverse with Harrison, and he's inside the 20. First down for Syracuse.
Nice call by the Orangemen. Dill, the offensive coordinator. Again, they had some time to prepare. They had last week off, and then they played. They had a week off before the temp. De Leon said they had to throw 1/3 of their offense because the speed and this of Erickson's defense. Head of coaches for Syracuse, but they eliminate some things and put in a few choice things to take advantage of that speed.
First down at the 19 of Miami. Syracuse has been threatening all along. This is again running in. Ray Lewis takes off his helmet, and he is just jumping up and down. He wants the whole blood. What's going on? And they're running right through there. Ball is at 14 now, and a pickup on play of 5.
There you go.
That's what's going on.
That's right. He got tackled by Willaball this year. It's hard to run with a guy hanging on your leg.
Yes, it is. Concrete boots going running. Mason behind the line of Smids. It's Burgess, number 54, that penetrated and got it. And there will be a loss back to about the 19-yard line. A loss of 5, and you're looking at 3rd down and 10.
Anything wide is not working. The option to too slow. There's too much speed. Miami. Burgess 54 that time. The things that are working are the plays inside or that misdirection like the reverse.
Buttons out. Asquiloni wants it. So Paul will bring his offense to the sidelines with 13 minutes and 15 seconds to go. The half. They're looking 3rd and 10, and he is looking for a score.
My hands were steady, eyes clear and bright. My steps were quick and
the men and women who make Chevy
firm to what I felt was right. Like
considering the quality of our people, it's no wonder they are the most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road.
As soon as State Farm customer calls with a claim, I'm right on the phone to a claim center.
We work partners. Nancy gives me the information, then I contact our customer.
We've got 100 ways together. John's attitude is...
You get to be quick, and you get to be fair.
Quick and fair.
At State Farm, teamwork is what's all about.
We make a great team.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here's a toughie. Just Supreme Pizza for $10.99 or 2 for $9.98 at Little Caesars. Brilliant. Why get 1 Supreme Pizza when you can get 2 at Little Caesars for just $9.98?
Pizza.
With Minwax polyurethane, you can do more than admire your wood. You can live with it, too, because Minwax contains pure urethane oil to protect wood while giving it beauty you can really live with. Minwax keeps wood.
Perennial powers collide. The Fighting Irish Notre Dame heads out for a shot with the Florida State Seminoles. It's game 1 of a college football doubleheader next Saturday on BC.
All right, Syracuse moving down here. They were down to 14. They've been forced back to near the 19. They've had the ball now 10 plays in this current position. Number 88, the tight end, always seemed to be part of the Syracuse offense. He's not seen the ball.
Miami leads the nation in pass defense, and Syracuse is not very good throwing it.
They got the tight end out there wide this time. They let him out about 7-8 yards. He's going down the middle, throw it out there to Dardar instead. And he won't get to the first down marker. But he did get down to about the 12-yard line. They are certainly within reach of the field goal try.
It's a nice call. If you're not a pass team, and as I mentioned, Syracuse is last in the conference throwing the football, you throw a faithful screen to running back with a lineman out in front of him, give him a chance to pick up, and if not, maybe you get on the scoreboard first.
And Number 19, Olinda Mare, is out there.
Their field goal kicking hasn't been real good this year. Only 2 of 6.
This youngster has a powerful leg, but he has not been all that accurate. He's 1 out of 3 so far. He took over the place kicking from Real.
Play it again. Offense.
So Syracuse turns the clock 5 yards. That'll back him up 5, and it won't bother him a lot, I don't think. Probably even give him a better angle at it. Probably did it on purpose because we watched yesterday at practice, and he was hit about well beyond 50 yards.
I don't know, guys. These field goal kickers, some of them, they haven't been very successful. Murray's 1 of 3, and Malley 1 of 3.
Mason's holding. Evan Mason. It's up. Folks on there say good, and so do the officials. And Syracuse is the lead against Miami with 12 runs to play in the first half.
If your aftershave has to hurt to work, then you're probably different. She's earning more with Queen's Sensitive Mold Spice. More than a great scent. This is real refreshment. Proof? But your aftershave here. Sensitive here. If this doesn't take the sting out of aftershave, call 1-800-PROOF-IT and they'll buy you a bottle of yours. Come on. Take the sensitive challenge from Old Spice. You're going to feel a whole lot.
Graves leading the Orangemen down to the Miami 23 on the final play of the game. Tight end Chris Gedney stopped at the 3. Miami wins 16-10.
And don't think that these Hurricanes don't remember those things, Keith.
They won big a year ago down in Florida. Like I said, the building is part of the story.
The last time they were here, they had problems.
Murray will kick it off, and Jamie German and Al Shipman are deep for the Hurricanes. Knuckleball, tough to handle, gets past him and goes beyond the field of play and will come out to the 20. He gets some whip on the ball. That thing came skittering down there. It looked like a Wilhelm specialty.
Like a shot. Well, what has Miami done? The first 3 times out of the box, they've had an interception and 2 punts, but look at the plays. 4 plays and out, 3, and then 4 again. Starting position has not been very good, and is not good on this drive.
Stewart is the single back. Big James is back in there. 3 wide outs. This is no place to be changing your play at the line of scrimmage. Stewart running outside. Down at the 20. You're not going to do any of that check with me stuff at the line of scrimmage in this building. This week, ABC's Monday Night Football will be in Dallas as Emmitt Smith and the Super Bowl champion Cowboys host their NFC Eastern Division rival, the New York Giants. Monday at 9 here on ABC's Monday Night Football.
There's a look at Norm Gerber. He was telling me yesterday that the thing he wants to do is stop the Miami running game. Stop the running game and take away the big plays. Force them to be patient to move the ball down the field. He stopped the running game pretty well so far.
4 wideouts out of the shotgun. Pass is completed. Pass is caught by A.C. Tellison. And he's taken down at the 27-yard line. Tellison's another one of those big wideouts at 6'2", 212. This time a free safety named Jones, 6'5", 207, took him down.
Miami has a lot of depth at the wide receiver position. And they say the younger ones are better than the older ones, the veterans. So it's going to be nothing but good receivers for Erickson for the next few years.
3rd down and 2. Stewart back in. Stewart's got it. And the first down. Dropped at the 37. The Orangemen are not timid about going after Stewart. As a matter of fact, they know that you got to be pretty sure for one man to take him down. So they send 2 and 3 and sometimes yell for 4.
Keith, in a situation talking about checking off, if you do want to check off or think about it, you can't act like you're checking off. You can't move your head one side or the other because the fans will see you doing it. So if you do check off, do it kind of nonchalantly.
First down at the 37. Costa pumps and lets it go, and it's in the seats.
Trying to get a hook and go out there on Bevel, the defensive back. Greg Smith, the offensive line coach, doing a good job, and Rich Olson, the offensive coordinator, trying to get something big. Syracuse is doing a good job, Keith, of substituting 5 guys at a time. They'll go from their regular package to a nickel package, 6 defensive backs and better pass rushers in the game, which they have now.
Back to the 4 wideouts for the Canes on 2nd down and 10. Costa's pass caught. First down, midfield. Make it the 49-yard line of Syracuse as Chris T. Jones, 6'4" and 210, reels it in.
This Miami offense in the past years, Keith, has been heavy to the passing game. They've had quarterbacks that have, whenever you use a 1-back, 3-wide receiver, maybe 4-wide receiver offense, the quarterback better be good at getting the ball to those people. If you're not consistent at that position, you're going to have problems, and that's why Erickson has gone to more of a running game this year.
27 catches now for Chris T. Jones on the season. See, the crowd jumps on him right now.
Yep.
Give it to Stewart. And James Stewart now, as the offensive front blew a hole for him, rambles on down to the Syracuse 37-yard line and a first down. While we catch our breath here and they move the chains, remind you there are 7 Joneses on the Miami roster.
And the starting free safety for Syracuse is Tony Jones. So Jones may be covering Jones.
First down from the Orange 37. Miami starting to move it a little bit now. First real movement they've had with the ball. Costa looks and goes to the corner and
jump ball.
It is incomplete. It was Yatil Green at 6'3", matched up against Kevin Abrams, the quarterback at 5'9", and Green couldn't make the catch.
You're right. As advertised, Green is a good leaper. He caught a ball against Virginia Tech last week.
Should have caught that.
Just didn't catch it. Yep. They had what they wanted. Yep. 18 Jones there is 6'5". He's the free safety. They had him out of it. But you know, you do that maybe 3 or 4 times a game, Keith. You're going to catch half of it.
2nd down and 10. That'll be offside. Syracuse defender trying to anticipate the snap and got caught in the neutral zone.
Offside. Defense, illegal contact. 5-yard penalty.
Danielle Ferguson, number 1, is in the backfield now. He is a running back for Miami. And here comes the 5-player substitution again for Syracuse defense, and here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, if I'm not mistaken, it seems like every time that Miami audibilizes, they go to a running play, which seems to be logical, because if you're going to audibilize, the backs and the offensive linemen can hear you, the receivers can't. Keith?
Ferguson is a single back here, way deep. He goes a yard deeper than Stewart. Not as big, but quicker, and gets inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Well, you've been hung out there a few times, Swanee, when you knew the quarterback had called an audible and you couldn't hear him. It's a difficult position to be put in because you've got to keep looking to see where he is.
What'd you do, Swanee, when they checked off and you didn't know what was going on?
Well, what I did was I looked in at the ball and just to see whether it was going to be a running play or a passing play.
And if it was a pass play?
Then I ran something somewhere. I looked for an open spot.
Raise your hand and go.
Larry Jones is the single back. He's got the ball. And the Orangemen have him short of the line of scrimmage. Or no more than the line of scrimmage and certainly short of the first down. It was third down and about a yard, maybe a yard and a half, and the Orange stacked it up, led by that little corner, Bryce Bevel.
And number 50 on the outside is Antoine Pons. Number 3, Bevel, is the corner, Keith, the small corner that we were talking about. He comes up, he's pretty good physical. He may have to make the tackle. Hurricanes are going for it.
Canes going on fourth down and 2. Larry Jones gets it. So a little bit of old jawbone football there. I'm coming, you try to stop me.
I think that's a good call by Erickson. It was kind of long for a field goal. You need to get him in there. You want to be physical. You think you can run the football.
They'll bring the chains out. Our angle looked from here as if he might have it. I don't know.
From that angle, I don't know if he had it or not.
Yeah, I don't either. Didn't make it. Didn't make it. Didn't make it. Nope. 10 plays and no points.
'77 is Lumelski, 66 Simonette. But it's the defensive guys we should be talking about. This defense, not a lot of respect coming into the ball game. They're 86th in the nation in total defense. They're not playing like that this afternoon.
It'll be Malcolm Thomas and Terry Morris lined up behind Kevin Mason now. Will Walker is that number 7 wide at the bottom of the picture there. Mason hands it to Malcolm Thomas, and he'll have a yard maybe. Now let's go to John Saunders.
Keith, the Rose Bowl picture is pretty muddled right now. USC and Washington State, each still with a shot at it. Rob Johnson here to Keyshawn Johnson for the touchdown. They lead 7-3. Oregon also in the running, and they lead Arizona State 7-0. Keith.
Washington State would have to win out in that Pac-10 because they beat Oregon.
Thought it was snowing up there in Pullman.
Yeah. That's just propaganda. Trying to scare the Trojans. This is Thomas. And he's out for the 33-yard line. So it'll be third down and about 6. Thomas got away from Kenny Holmes to pick up that gain. Third down, make it third down and 4. Put the ball at the 33-yard line.
Mason looking at his wristband there. Sometimes they just single in a number, and then he just looks at the corresponding play next to that number. Makes it a little quicker.
The shotgun on third and 4, throws it quickly, throws it sharply, and completes it for a first down. The ball caught by Marvin Harrison. Mark it at the 44-yard line. Clemson beat North Carolina today in the ACC.
A couple of shockers in the ACC, huh?
I would think Syracuse confidence is growing. Orange lead Miami 3-0 with 5:40 to play in the first half. Option down the line. It is a good pitch to Thomas. He cuts it back into traffic and picks up 3 yards on the play. Tomorrow on ABC Sports, 3 Eastern and 2 Central. The world's elite distance runners, along with thousands more, will be running in the Big Apple for the 25th New York City Marathon, not shown in the New York area. Then the deciding round of the Lincoln Mercury Kapalua International, and Bob Gilder is leading 11 under. Robert, he gets over there in those islands and he always plays well.
I love just watching, just to see the views.
Oh, he's long hitter from Oregon gets over there in Hawaii, and he's tough. Kevin Mason got away from the pursuit and actually got around the corner and put it on the Miami side of the field. Number 96, Kennard Lang, pursued him all the way across the field and just couldn't quite catch him.
It's Rohan Marley, the outside linebacker, hurt last week. Hurt his knee, out for the season, hopes to be back for a bowl game.
He tore the ligament, didn't he?
The medial collateral. No surgery was needed.
Dardar is back in at tailback. 3rd down and 3. Pitch it to Kirby, and he won't get the first down. Ray Lewis, 52, and there's one other Hurricane over there that put the lick on it. It would be Richardson, number 19.
Yeah. Even though the Hurricanes and Ray Lewis, number 52, have the speed to run sideline to sideline, this is what Syracuse does. This is what they are, and this is what they do best. They are not going to go away from their option, and it's kept them in the ball game. They've punted the ball. It's kept the ball away from Miami, and it's working for them, and that's what De Leon said. We're going to do what we are.
3-0. Syracuse leading at 4 minutes to go in the first half. Reality punt. German is deep. First kick by Sean today was a 55-yarder into the end zone. Play clock expired, so they'll back them up 5. That's the second time they've burned it. They burned it on the field goal, but I thought that was on purpose. This one I don't think was. Paul Pasqualoni, Dennis Erickson. Pasqualoni, an Easterner out of Penn State. Dennis Erickson, Westerner out of Montana State. Good punt. Back to the 6. And they've got him short of the 15. Jamie German's taken down at about the 13-yard line. 3:32 to go in the first half.
Before we introduced the all-new Chevy Blazer, it was thoroughly tested.
20-yard line in this entire first half. This one will be at the 12-yard line.
It's not easy on the road, especially when you're on the road in a dome and it's very loud.
James Stewart is the single back. Over the middle, ball is tipped. Look out, intercepted. Bevel has it. Bevel back to the 11-yard line.
Right in here, but watch the linebacker. He's going to get in the lane and tip the ball. They've run this play before with some success. Play action, trying to hold him. This time Conley sees it. Conley makes the play. Great field position for Syracuse. You know what they're trying to do when you've been around as long as Conley has. You know that play action fake. You know it's going to come right over your head. Nice play.
Robinson fullback, Dardar tailback, I formation. Wilson is wide left. The offensive line surge is quite good. Move that ball down to about the 6-yard line, so they pick up 6 on first down. Dardar carrying.
The Hurricanes keep a chart on sudden change, meaning after a turnover, it's a challenge to their defense to go in and stop the other team from scoring. This is a severe test for them. They have done very well in that sudden change category.
You got Thomas checking in as they go to the wishbone set. Give it to the fullback, Robinson. Nothing there for that. Middle guys just jumped all over him. At the conclusion of the ball game today, we'll have the Chevrolet Most Valuable Players. It'll be the 24th season, or is the 24th season, that genuine Chevrolet players of the game have been chosen, with each university receiving $1,000 for the General Scholarship Fund at the respective university.
Syracuse needs 7. They should not be content with just 3 points here.
3rd down and 4. I think they've got to change on either contact or at least in the neutral zone. They needed 3rd down and 4 if it's offsides. Miami's arguing somebody moved along the offensive front.
The defensive lineman jumped, and then an offensive lineman also jumped.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the offense.
So the offensive lineman responded as the defender jumps across. You'll see it.
See, the Miami man jumps, but he doesn't touch anybody, so he can get back. Then the offensive man jumps, and that's why it's on the offense. If the defensive man would have touched somebody,
then it's offside.
Then it's offside on the defense.
So back up Syracuse 5 and make it 3rd down and 9 as the ball comes back to the 11. And they're working out of the shotgun, so this reads pass. Hand the ball off to Robinson, the fullback. And he tries to slide between the guard and center and pop it where the linebackers weren't, and it didn't work.
You got a few boos coming around, and again, it goes back to Syracuse. We're going to do what we are. We are not a passing team. Our offensive linemen going against the best pass rushing team maybe in the nation. We're not going to get in that situation. Pasqualoni said, I'll settle for 3.
Murray hit a 35-yarder earlier in the quarter to make it 3-0. The ball is down. Mason holding, drilled into the screen. Good. So it becomes 6-0 Syracuse at 58 seconds to play in the first half.
Saturday on the ABC family movie, Ernest is back in his funniest role ever, and this time he's scared stupid. Saving the town from a terrible troll.
I got it all under control.
It's a movie parents can watch with their kids. Ernest Scared Stupid, Saturday.
You may have seen incredible magic before, but you've never seen anything as spectacular as this. The greatest Masters of Illusion star with their phenomenal family of animals in the biggest magical event of the season. It's Siegfried and Roy, the Magic, the Mystery, Sunday, only on ABC.
6-0. The Syracuse Orange lead the Miami Hurricanes. Syracuse ranked 10th. Miami 3rd. Actually 4th, but Auburn isn't going anywhere. Murray will kick it off. And here are your deep people. It's Shipman 32 and German 7. And coming up on the Prudential halftime report, John Saunders with scores and highlights and a conversation with Notre Dame's head coach Lou Holtz, who's been deep in the magic potion, getting ready for Florida State down in Orlando.
He's had an off week this week. He played Navy last week, and then he had a week open before that. He should be good and ready.
High hanger, 5-yard line. Shipman, look out. He gets some daylight. You just keep looking at his hip pocket, but they're able to get him at about the 22-yard line. Donovan Darris down to make the tackle.
Ball brought out from the 5-yard line.
Last few years we've been coming up here Keith, Syracuse and Pasqualoni in particular have always had good special teams. They're showing it here this afternoon.
Costa, as he comes up for the snap at center, is 4 out of 9, 48 yards, and he's been picked twice. 6-0 Syracuse with 54 seconds remaining in the half. Out of the shotgun, Costa steps up, wants to go deep, and they sack him. Back at the 19. Wilkie Bazile from Spring Valley, New York, fought his way through to bring him down.
Bazile, really, number 70 in the middle of your screen. If you're going to get a sack out of Syracuse, this is the man. Working in Simonette, number 66. Right there, he fights and twists. That's his 8th sack of the year.
And we've got 45 seconds remaining in the half. Timeout.
Nice painting. What is it?
Not a very interesting piece. Reminiscent of early Dadaism.
What's Dadaism?
If he's so smart, why is he using those other batteries?
With a brain that big, you'd think he'd know Duracell batteries outlast all other brands.
Now, it's...
You're right, Mom. The museum can be fun.
The Copper Top tops them all.
Shake it, no dandruff. You've got Selsun Power. Brush it, no flakes. You've got Selsun Power with Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it #1 over all leading brands. Dandruff problem? No way. You've got Selsun Power.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's very important to remember, especially at a time like this, when it's very deserted and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
PageNet, America's #1 wireless messaging company, is proud to sponsor the 125th anniversary of college football. Since the days of leather caps and broken teeth, the game has come a long way. But it's still a game of contact. And who knows more about contact than PageNet, the
Defensive team, it's 2nd down and 13 for Miami at their own 20. Costa's out of a shotgun with 4 wideouts. Going deep down the sidelines, and it is incomplete. Kevin Abrams covering Yatil Green on the play. Abrams is a tough kid, you know that?
He is. Twice they've gone after the little guy. He's 5'9", 159. Norm Gerber, the defensive coordinator, was telling me a little bit. He says, you know, we've been working. We know they're going to throw it up there for a jump ball, but we've been working on positioning. Our defensive backs trying to get position and time our jumps, and so far, so good.
3rd down and 13. Goes down the middle this time. Pass is caught by A.C. Tellison and has a 1st down. They'll give his mark near the 35. Cornhuskers score 45 on the Jayhawks and win rather easily. Well, we did find out last week that you can roller skate in the Buffalo.
Yes, we did, didn't we?
Costa takes off, nothing but green in front of it, has a 1st down. And finally, Dan Conley gets a chance to put a pad on him and does. But he's got a big gain out of the play across midfield.
The defense of Syracuse, the defensive backs has looked at Conley. Looks like he may be hurt a little bit. But the defense, a prevent. The 3 deep were 30 yards downfield, and the linebackers underneath were dropping off.
Remember, Conley had arthroscopy, the 10th probe into the knees to repair smooth out some cartilage and remove scar tissue October 11. Not very long ago.
It's from the left side. There's Conley right there, 49. Doesn't seem to be anything with the knees. May have just dinged his head a little bit, maybe his neck.
No, it's knees. Has to come out.
You gotta love this
taken for him.
You got to love this kid. 6th year, 10 surgical procedures, 2 major, and only 8 arthroscopic surgeries.
Interior design major.
Yes, he is.
I told him if he ever wanted to run for Congress, call me. Guy with that kind of determination. Whew. All right, the ball's at 48-yard line. First down and 10, 19 seconds. And Costas throws the ball down. And you've got 15 seconds now. And you got a moment for him to look to the sidelines and get a play. And the play will come in with number 6, Trent Jones.
Can't take their time because it's not a timeout. It's just a incomplete pass. Miami has 1 timeout. They're trying to save it for a completion on the inside of the field and a field goal attempt. They get some points. It would be a big boost for them at half.
They've got trips at the bottom of your picture there. It's 3 receivers. Costas goes deep. And it is incomplete. And the man that he was looking for fell down. Yatil Green. He was covered by Bryce Bevel. They got tangled up, and there is no flag.
This is the mismatch again. Green is 6'3" and a jumper. Bevel's 5'9". They're both looking back for the ball, and I think that is a good no call.
Yep. I would agree.
These corners know that they were going to try and throw those alley-oops. They've tried it 4 times now and not succeeded yet.
3rd and 10 from the Syracuse 48. Costas lets it fly, going for the end zone. No. This time, it is Rod Gadsden, the nickelback, that makes the play. And the half is over. And Syracuse leads Miami at halftime 6-0.
It seems Miami's offense the last couple of weeks, passing-wise, has depended too much on an alley-oop pass.
And besides that, he appeared to be past the line of scrimmage when he threw it. But the half is over.
CFA College
games than any other channel on TV. And Prism has loads of great movies like My Life, A Perfect World, A Bronx Tale, The Pelican Brief, Grumpy Old Men, and Ace Ventura. Best of all, if you call 1-800-CABLE-ME and order Prism right now, you'll get a free month of Prism and a free upgrade to Prism. And when the Flyers come back, Prism will have them too.
If you've had a long, luscious love affair with Pizza Hut Pizza, you'll be glad to know we found a new way to add a little spice to the romance. New buffalo wings delivered from Pizza Hut. They're hot, spicy snacks that go great with delicious Pizza Hut pizza. For a limited time, get 12 buffalo wings delivered with any pizza for only $2.99. New buffalo wings from Pizza Hut. A whole new way to spice up the love affair.
She caught her lover cheating with 2 women and will confront them both. Next, Jenny Jones.
The Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by The Prudential. Peace of mind, it comes with every piece of the rock. From our New York studios, your host, John Saunders.
Welcome back. 6-0 is your lead. Syracuse over Miami as they look to get the stranglehold for the lead in the Big East. The second half is straight ahead, but first some scores and highlights. We begin with the #1 team in the nation. You notice the scores in gold. That will be of the winning team the rest of the way. The scores that are in gold, and Nebraska was the winning team. Brooke Behringer, another good day. 51 yards. Here he goes to Reggie Ball. Behringer was 10 of 14. 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nebraska rolls. Lawrence Phillips, 21 carries, 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. Auburn, still unbeaten as well. And Patrick Nix had a pretty good day. 44 yards hooking up with Frank Sanders. They would also get a 2-point conversion out of this. Sanders wide open and just has to lean into the end zone. 28-14 at that point. 38-21 is the final. Patrick Nix, 15 of 23, 261 yards. Auburn, though, was intercepted 4 passes, so their defense still doing it. Oklahoma State losing to Colorado 17-3 now in the 4th quarter. Cordell Stewart had a touchdown run and a touchdown pass. Utah and New Mexico. Utah has the lead by 10 at halftime, 21-11. Mike McCoy had a 56-yard touchdown pass in that game. Texas A&M against Texas. This used to be an important game, deciding who would go to the Cotton Bowl. Not this time around. 34-7. Brandon Mitchell, a 48-yard fumble return for a touchdown as the Aggies are rolling over the Longhorns. USC and Washington State, both teams in the hunt for the Rose Bowl, and USC has the lead. Washington State backup quarterback Derek Chapman in there because Chad Davis sprained his left ankle, would come back in the game. He's intercepted by Don Cunningham, and that leads to Rob Johnson, 13 yards to Keyshawn Johnson. USC takes a 7-3 lead, and that's where it stands now in the second quarter. Chad Davis, as I mentioned, sprained ankle, but he has come back into the game. Iowa State, will they win a game this year? Not today. Kansas State blowing them out 38-14. Chad May has 4 touchdown passes. North Carolina, number 18 in the nation, and beaten by a Clemson team that's below 500, 28-17. North Carolina held to 11 rushing yards and 3 turnovers. Arizona State trying to hold off Oregon. The Ducks still in the hunt for the Rose Bowl. 10-0 to score there. Ricky Whittle, 67-yard touchdown run. Arkansas beaten by Mississippi State as Jackie Sherrill's team has a big matchup coming up in a week, as you'll see them against Alabama next week. Some of you, Jackie Sherrill getting his quarterback Derek Tate ready, and Tate goes 58 yards at Eric Moulds. 14-7 is the score at that point, and Mississippi State wins it 17-7. Kevin Bowie, 22 carries, 142 yards. Mississippi State has won 6 of their last 7 games now. Northeast Louisiana, their first year in Division 1A. BYU beating them 24-10. John Walsh, 3 touchdown passes. Wisconsin against Ohio State in the Big Ten. The Ohio State Buckeyes trying to avoid the fate of Michigan, losing to Wisconsin this year, and they lead now 10-3. Bobby Hoying has a 78-yard touchdown pass to Chris Sanders. Rice against SMU, interesting game. Rice scored the first 17 points of the game and had to hold them off on the 1-yard line to avoid being tied by SMU late in the game. Air Force over Army for their 6th straight Commander-in-Chief trophy. They shared it last year. Army scored his first touchdown against Air Force in 5 years. Prairie View, you have to feel for this team. They're either going to break a record of 44 consecutive losses today. That would tie the record of Columbia, or they're going to win, and Tarleton State is up 42-7, so that streak will continue. Grambling has not lost this year, and they've come back down 2 touchdowns to Alabama State. It is now tied 24 pieces. Eddie Robinson closes in on 400 victories for his career. We will continue with more in just a moment. First, a listen to the Syracuse band as we look at some more scores from around the nation. Terrell Willis had 35 carries for 232 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rutgers over Temple. Next week on ABC, Florida State will face Notre Dame and the Fighting Irish of this smiling man, Lou Holtz. When we come back, a discussion with Coach Holtz.
Financial concerns, medical problems, anxiety about the future, the loss of a loved one, the pressures we all face, the emotions we all experience. 50 million Americans, 1 out of every 5 of us, have found they can cope better, feel more secure, actually improve their lives by turning for help to one particular company. A company whose sole purpose has always been to provide its customers with products and services that bring them to a different state of mind. Peace of mind, security, protection, preparation, optimism, peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Saluting an American tradition, 125 years of college football.
The
This is Roger Twibell reporting from the beautiful island of Maui, site of the 1994 Lincoln Mercury Kapalua International. Let's update our leaderboard now in the third round. And we invite you to join us tomorrow for final round coverage here on ABC Sports.
Welcome back once again to New York and the Prudential Halftime Report. I'm John Saunders. Let's get to the scores and highlights, beginning with Penn State. Are they number one? Are they number two? Depends on who you believe. Coaches think they're number one, and Indiana might now as well. Kerry Collins goes 8 yards early here to Kyle Brady, makes it a 7-0 lead, and Joe Paterno saying if we can hold on for the victory, I could go undefeated this year. Kajana Carter, 80 yards on the touchdown run. He had 20 carries for 192 yards, almost 10 yards a carry. He's got to be the front runner right now for the Heisman Trophy. 35-14. They win at 35-29. Kerry Collins with a good day. 2 touchdowns passing as well. And Penn State coach Joe Paterno says he wants a playoff system with a chance he could go undefeated and not win the national title.
And I may obviously be affected by the fact that there are only, I think, 6 or 7 undefeated, untied football teams at the end of the bowl season that have not been selected as national champions, and 3 of those were Penn State teams.
Here's a look at what he's talking about. 1973, 69, and 68. Joe Paterno ran the carpet, got the victories, never lost a game, but did not win the national championship. Moving along with more scores and highlights. Southern Miss, no match for Florida, 55-17. Eric Kresser is now ahead of Terry Dean on the quarterback chart. He got a lot of work today. 6 yards to Sorolla Palmer, 55-10 at that point. Terry Dean threw 1 pass. That was intercepted. Danny Werfel was 9 of 13 for 148 yards, a couple of touchdowns, 1 on the ground as well. And Eric Kresser, 14 of 21 for 309 yards. Terry Dean, Heisman candidate, now 3rd string. Florida State all over Georgia Tech. Bobby Bowden's team has never lost in the ACC. Backup quarterback Graham Stroman just came in for 1 possession, gets sacked by Derek Brooks. The fumble's recovered by Andre Wadsworth, and it sets up a touchdown. Danny Cannell, 8 yards to Melvin Pearsall. 14-3 at that point. They hold on 41-10 for the blowout. Warwick Dunn, 13 carries, 174 yards. Florida State faces Notre Dame next week. Now, last year, Notre Dame won the game, but Florida State won the national championship. Earlier today, I spoke with Irish coach Lou Holtz and asked if he felt he could prove something this week.
No, I don't think anything this year has anything to do with last year. We played them last year. If there's ever any revenge, I think it would be on the part of Florida State because we beat them last year. We just know Florida State's an awful fine football team, and we want to play well and would like to win.
Lou, talk about your struggles this year with the 3 losses. A lot of people surprised. Part of it is because you are the Irish. Nobody ever expects you to lose, but how tough has that been on you and the kids?
I think it's very difficult because we have high expectations. I think we've spent this weekend trying to go back and examine the whole season from play selection to what we've done, where we failed, et cetera. And each of the 3 losses that we had, it fell down into a different category. You know, Michigan State, we block a field goal, they catch it, and ends up leading to a touchdown. We fumble the ball on our 19-yard line, they kick a field goal on the last play of the game. There's so many things in that ball game where it could have went our way. We just played poorly at Boston College, but give them a certain amount of credit. Against BYU, we're inside their 10-yard line 5 times, come away with no points, don't turn the football over. They kick 2 field goals, 148 and 150. I think you can look at a variety of different things, but when you play a football team, there are little things that are making the difference, and with some injuries that we've had, we just don't do the little things right on a consistent basis.
Where is your quarterback, Ron Paulus? A lot of high expectations out of the gate this year, and without question, he's going to be a great quarterback. Where would you put him on schedule right now?
I think he has really done an amazing thing, but let's get a couple things straight. Number one, he was away from football for 2 years. He came right out of high school. He came into spring practice. He couldn't do very much. He was coming off of an injury. The thing that we have to remember is that Ron Paulus, through the first 5 football games of this year, had not practiced more than 15 to 17 times since he'd been here at the University of Notre Dame, and none of them under what you'd call real game-like situations. The one advantage of this open date before Navy and advantage after Navy is even though he has a sprained ankle at the present time, he's received an awful lot of work, and he is an outstanding quarterback. I think what he has done with a little amount of work, the little knowledge he has of the offense is absolutely unbelievable. And I expect him from this point on to be an outstanding quarterback.
You're going to be in Orlando next week. A chance to see Mickey and Minnie for the kids? They get a break?
Well, we won't go see Mickey and Minnie. We will stay at Mickey and Minnie out there, but this is not a vacation. We would like very much to play well against Florida State. The one thing about Notre Dame is when things go bad, people have a tendency to make it seem like it's a lot worse than what it is. And when things go well, they have a tendency to make your players feel a lot better than what they are. There's a good chance we will start eligibility-wise 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior in the offensive line. That is what really scares me, is the fact that our players do not have an awful lot of confidence. And yet you can't talk to them about confidence. They just have to go out there and play against a team like Florida State, walk out the field and say, hey, we can play with anybody, and we can beat anybody, and I think we are capable of doing that.
All right, Lou, thank you very much for joining us. Good luck next week against Florida State.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and we'll continue with more of the Prudential Halftime Report in just a moment.
Gingerbread molding, colonial columns, a stained glass window, a white picket fence. Owning your own home is still a big piece of the American dream. One of America's most innovative real estate networks can help you put the pieces together, no matter which door you want to enter, which window you want to look out of. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
A new set of academic standards will go into effect in 1995. To practice, play, or receive an athletic scholarship, freshmen will need a minimum grade point average in at least 13 core courses in high school and minimum score on the ACT or SAT. Make it a point to talk to your coach or your guidance counselor about these requirements. Prepare yourself now. It's never too early to hit the books.
This message provided by the NCAA.
The Prudential Halftime Report has been brought to you by the Prudential Peace of Mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Important game in the ACC between Duke and Virginia. Fred Goldsmith, just one loss this year. Simeon Willis just came into the game, goes 69 yards to Demetrius Allen. Duke's lead is down to 3, 28-25. But Simeon Willis would struggle as well. Looking to pass, intercepted by Levance McQueen. It sealed the game for Duke and likely the inside track for the second ACC Bowl Coalition spot. Duke wins it 28-25. Spence Fisher, 1 touchdown pass and 2 on the ground. Michigan blows out Purdue 45-23. Tyrone Wheatley, 20 carries, 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. We'll continue with more in just a moment. Your second half is straight ahead.
That's an old country. That's really old. Man, is that old. Only a country this young could create a car this cool. The Chevy Camaro. 2 airbags, fuel injection, and a double wishbone suspension. Hey, you're only young once. The new Camaro. It's genuine Chevrolet.
Mr. Thompson! Hey, heard about the big savings I can get you over AT&T on your business long-distance bill?
Big savings?
Oh, sure.
Let's just check that out by calling this number here, 1-800-COMPARE.
Can I see that hacksaw?
Right after I call 1-800-COMPARE.
Wow, are those left-handed tin snips?
Can't believe the big savings claims? For the facts, call 1-800-COMPARE, and AT&T will guarantee you competitive long-distance prices.
I can fix that for you.
1-800-COMPARE, the number other long-distance companies don't want you to call. AT&T, for the life of your business.
A company most people never heard of is changing the way we fight cancer and kidney failure. By inducing the body to produce blood cells, chemotherapy and anemia patients are gaining new strength. Helping to grow blood cells helped Amgen become the world's largest independent biotech company. Where do you find companies with such pioneering spirit? Actually, there's a list of them printed every day. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
Visa salutes American Olympic champions. In 1984, the Olympics provided a platform for handicapped athletes, and Sharon Hedrick turned in a great performance in the 800 meters.
They are strong, they're powerful, and they take a great deal of pride. They go to win this thing.
Hedrick set a new world record. In continued support of amateur athletics, Visa today is proud to donate another $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team to support future Olympic hopefuls in their quest for the gold.
About 65 miles south of the nearest stoplight
And 2 miles up in the Rocky Mountain sky, you'll find skier's heaven, also known as Telluride Ski Mountain, where the skiing's perfect and the views are even better. And whether you're going to extremes or just going for a lesson, don't go without your Visa card, because at Telluride Ski Mountain, they'll let you take the plunge, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
It is a hot time for effect in the Carrier Dome at Syracuse as the Orangemen lead Miami by a score of 6-0 on a pair of field goals of 35 and 29 yards by Olinda Mare. Bob Greasy, let's talk about the travails of Frank Costa versus no-knees Dan Conley, who has been the star of this first half.
Well, he has, and for Miami, we talked about their defense being so good. It's their offense that needs production. Costa is not getting it done. We may see Ryan Collins in the game in the second half. I think they'll give Costa another chance, but they've got 2 quarterbacks, and they've used them.
For Conley, it remains a story.
Oh, Conley is the story. He was involved in both interceptions. Let me show you on the telestrator the running play right here, but Conley is right here. Watch the play action pass. They tried to get the ball to Stewart, faked it to him. Conley sees it. He tips the ball up in the air, and Bevel, the corner, is going to come back and make the interception. Conley was involved in the first interception. Actually, he actually did intercept the football.
So it's the Miami offense that is sputtering. And let's see what happens. It's only 6-0, however. So it's hardly a time for panic yet among the Canes. In the last 99 games, you see the Syracuse Orangemen have been pretty successful when they were leading at halftime.
The thing that's happened is that the crowd is in this ball game, the thing we talked about at the opening.
Can't check off, can't change things at the line of scrimmage with any degree of success. The ball is knocked into the end zone and will come out to the 20-yard line for Syracuse.
Here's a look at the numbers in the first half. Syracuse rushing yards 105. That's key because it keeps Miami off the field. 130 yards of total offense to 119. The 2 turnovers have stopped 2 of the Miami drives, both interceptions, and it led to 3 points for Syracuse. Miami has had the ball 6 possessions. Excuse me, Syracuse had it 5 times, and they scored on the 3rd and 5th time, and they had a couple of pretty good drives of 10 and 12 plays.
Great field position in the main. We had offsides on the kickoff, so it looks like they want them to come back and do it again. The Miami offense beleaguered somewhat, not only by the crowd and in the building, Bob, but by their own field position, which has been so poor.
It has been poor. Their average starting position has been their own 18-yard line. Right here, and Syracuse has been the beneficiary of some good special teams play. Good coverage, good punting. They've started at their own 44.
Bob Casullo is the special teams coach, and he really gets into the ball game. Bounding up and down the sidelines, rooting them on. All right, they kick it from the 30, and it's a high hanger caught at the 10-yard line by Kirby Dardar. And he can't get outside. They'd have been better off with taking the ball out at the 20 as Earl Little comes flying down the field to make the tackle. Now let's spend a moment with Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, talking to the Syracuse sideline, the coaching staff at halftime, we're absolutely correct. During the breaks, they did change some of their offensive blocking schemes for the option in their inside play. They will continue to do the same thing. On the defensive side, Syracuse is trying to match up people for people, and that substitution that you talked about, Bob, is so important. Then, in those different packages, they're going to be extraordinarily aggressive trying to create the turnover. Keith?
This is the worst starting point for Syracuse in the entire ball game. It's back on the 13-yard line where it's 1st and 10, and Dardar is the tailback and has the ball. Looks into the middle, and this time there is no daylight. None. Bernard Lang celebrating a little bit.
Syracuse leaders of the first half. Mason only threw it 5 times for 25 yards. Dardar had 63 yards rushing and not much passing for the Orangemen.
Pat Riley, number 43, was very evident on that last play, too. He's been kind of contained, but he made the penetration that last time. It's second down and 10. Mason's got a major problem trying to outrun it and can't. Lang takes him out of bounds. And he makes a second successive play, and the Syracuse offense is stalled with the goal line at its back.
Right over the center, that's going to be Riley, number 43. You hear so much about Sapp, but look at Riley. He's 6'5" and about 293 pounds, and the quickness. The option was supposed to go to the right side. There was no chance, and the flow and the speed of the defense catches up. This defense for Miami is trying to light a fire under the offense. Its own offense. Third down and about 8. Mason gets the ball off. The ball is thrown just as far as he could throw it, and it is incomplete. That is now you get a penalty flag. The call goes against C.J. Richardson, defending Marvin Harrison. That was close. The back judge didn't call it. He's in the center of the field. It was the side judge who is on the side of the field. Had a little bit better view of it.
15-yard penalty and a first down.
To the left there is the side judge. There's Richardson, 19. Yeah, I think he touched him a little bit. You know, Richardson never saw the ball, and I looked at the end. He finally knocked it down, but he did touch him before he knocks it down.
When he put his arm across his chest there, that's what that is.
Right there. That's what you can't do.
Good call.
It's a nice call. And it's a proper call for the side judge and not the back judge, because the back judge was blocked off. He couldn't see that.
Moved the ball out to the 30. That's only the second Miami penalty in the ball game. It's first down for Syracuse. Ball is handed off to Dardar. And the Canes are kind of looking for Kirby here to start the second half of play. He had a good deal of success against them in the first half. Not so far in the second half. The three linebackers are Corwin Francis, Ray Lewis in the middle, and James Burgess on the outside. You see Pat Riley, 43, running around there. He is a defensive tackle. It's unusual. You see a guy hunkered down on the defensive line wearing 43. He's right shoulder to shoulder with Warren Sapp.
It tells you he played a different position and just grew into that number.
Yep.
That's right. That size, that's double XL.
At least.
At least, that's right.
Kevin Mason pitches the ball off to Kirby Dardar, and it's good for about another 5 yards. That's good quick thinking and alertness on the part of Dardar to catch the ball.
And a nice play by Mason to keep it alive. And on the defensive side, Lewis sees the man coming. The tackle stops the second, knows he has the speed to catch up, and Mason tried to keep it alive.
Third down and 4 for the Orange. They lead 6-0 over Miami. Here's your option to Dardar, and it's nothing cooking on this one, folks. Kenny Holmes was in the backfield and just simply waiting.
Yep.
Mason been better off to have kept the ball.
Well, it's what George Elione said yesterday. He says we're going to do what we do best, and that's the option. If we look bad, we're still going to run it. We're going to try and make. But the outside option is not getting anywhere. It's the inside stuff that's been working, at least in the first half. Miami corrected and looked very good on that first possession, second half.
It's a very simple matter of fact of life when you're playing against the Miami Hurricanes. East-West won't get it. You're going to run it, you're going to run it north and south. Sean Reale is in the punt, 55 and 46 on the first two today. Third quarter of play. Gets it out of there. Ball is fielded by German. And he's covered quite well by Syracuse. Back around the 32-yard line on a 42-yard punt.
Keith.
Not much room on the sideline for this building. Personal foul. It's against Syracuse.
Here's a look at the first half possessions. Miami had it 6 times. They had 2 interceptions and turned it over on downs on. But look at the field position where they started. Nothing pretty about that stat. And are these Costa 5 of 14 and 2 interceptions. Stewart leads the rushers with 8 for 33. Tellison 2 receptions, 23 yards. Defensive leaders, Conley, the middle linebacker, 6 tackles, 1 interception, and he caused an interception.
Costa pitches to Stewart. Got a hold. And picks up right at 10 yards on the carry. So good blocking going around that left corner that time.
Miami has had some good plays, Keith. They haven't had any big plays, which Norv Gerber, the defensive coordinator, wanted to do. Take away their big plays, and he wanted to stop their running game. He stopped it pretty well, but Miami is self-destructive. They move it for a while, then they stop themselves.
Second and a short yard. Costa looks downfield, goes down the middle, and it is incomplete. It was intended for Gerard Daphnis, and Tony Jones broke it up.
Daphnis is on the left side of the screen. He's the tight end. He's going to come straight down the field. Costas is going to wait a little bit too long. The safety sees it and broke it up. That could have been picked off.
Thunders up the middle and gets the first down.
Here's a look at the Orangemen defense in the nation. Look at the bottom there. They're 86th in total defense. There's only 106 teams, but they're playing like one of the best here today. There's Norm Gerber. He was with McPherson with the Patriots a couple years ago.
First down just inside the 40. Costa goes to Harris, and Conley makes the tackle at about the 34-yard line. Tomorrow, an hour of America's Funniest Videos. Special guest Kenny Rogers, then the magical event of the season. Special hour with Siegfried and Roy, followed by the network premiere of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, starring Rebecca De Mornay. Tomorrow night here on ABC. Much was made of Miami's average time for their 29 touchdown drives this season, about 2.5 minutes. That has not been the case today. 6-0, Syracuse still leading with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter as Costa steps up and has time, throws, and again, he is lucky to get it back. And now you get a flag thrown by the back judge. He can see this play, and he throws the flag. The pass intended for Green, defended by Abrams. It's pass interference.
Let's go bottom right. Let's go to slant pattern. Hard to tell.
Well, kind of like basketball, though, Bob. If you're behind him going over the top, you're going to get called.
And especially if you hit him before the ball gets there, obviously. Here's what we're talking about. I think this is one of the reasons Miami is frustrated. 29 touchdown drives this year have taken an average of 6 plays, and in the time of possession of those drives, only 2.5 minutes. That's what Syracuse is doing. They're frustrating him. They're making him take their time. They're making him be patient.
7 penalties, 58 yards on the Orange so far. Give the ball to Stewart, trying to get around the corner. Can't do it. Number 50, Antoine Pond. Got a little help from Kevin Abrams. And they take him out right about the line of scrimmage, which is just inside the 20.
And when Miami gets inside the 20, which has been 24 times, they've scored 22 of those 24 times. 17 touchdowns. 92% of the time they score. That's pretty good.
The crowd is listed at 49,563. Sounds like lower, doesn't it? Costa goes to the end zone again, and he misses. The pass intended for Chris T. Jones, who has caught 27 balls on the year. And it wasn't close.
It's not all Costas' fault either. The receivers have to bear some of it. They're just not getting open. Part of it is the frustration of the defense they're going against. They like to score quickly, Miami does. They like the quick strike. They're known for that. They have not been able to do it. They're going against zones. Nobody's doing anything. They're just taking away big plays.
3rd and 10. Callison. First down, 1st and goal at the 4. So he goes to the senior out of Bay City, Texas for the big play.
He's over here in the slot, Keith. He's just going to go down and break to the inside. Watch the defenders as they're all just going to back up. They're not going to cover anybody man to man. They're just going to play deep, play the quarterback's eyes. That's a nice job by Costa.
Ball is on the 4-yard line, 1st down and goal.
Stewart, a yard. Ryan Collins comes in sometimes in these situations for the Hurricanes.
Ed Hobson made the tackle, the nose guard, number 94 from Roosevelt, New York. Ball is on the 3.
So look at Collins. He's different skills. Better rollout. 9 plays, 65 yards. Miami spreads him out again.
Stewart, touchdown, Miami.
It's a nice drive for Miami coming out the beginning of the 2nd half. Talked about some things, probably Dennis Erickson told him, listen, we're going to have to be patient and move it down. They put the receivers to our left, and they run it to our right with Stewart. He missed a couple of games because of a sprained ankle.
Main foot for the extra point now. The holder is Mike Chrissy, the punter, who tore a groin muscle. He's out to the end of the season for that.
It's all right to hold, though.
The extra point try is good. And the Miami Hurricanes, with 8:44 to go in the 3rd quarter, have gone to the lead 7-6.
Some things in life you have to wait for. A car of your dreams shouldn't be one of them. The Chevy Camaro. 2 airbags, fuel-injected V6, anti-lock brakes. It's $14,750 worth of a genuine Chevrolet.
Financial concerns, medical problems, anxiety about the future. 50 million Americans turn for help to one particular company, a company whose sole purpose has always been to bring them to a different state of mind. Peace of mind, security, protection, optimism. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Canada. It's a land like no other, with a beer like no other. Molson Ice. Ice brewed by North America's oldest brewery to be bolder and bolder. It's smooth as ice. Molson Ice, from the land where ice was born.
CFA College Football on ABC Sports, brought to you by Chevrolet. The cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. And De Beers, a diamond is forever. 10 plays, 68 yards, and the lead for the Miami Hurricanes. And Pruitt now will kick it off. Dardar and Jim Turner are back waiting for it for Syracuse. Turner. Across the 30. That's one.
Well, Keith, you're talking about how well Miami's playing the option for Syracuse. They had a little help this week. On their scout team, number 5, who's a wide receiver, was an option quarterback in high school, and he's got some very, very excellent speed. So all week long, he ran the option for the Hurricanes to get them ready for Syracuse. Looks like he got them in great position, Keith.
All right, Swanee. Kirby Dardar is the man shaken up on the play and being attended to on the field. Returning kicks is a dangerous profession. But he's all right. He's grinning.
42 to the right side of the screen. That's Dardar. Oh, look out. Yeah, you hate to see that, but he's up and walking around, but that was close.
Okay. So put the ball on the 32-yard line for the Orange now, and let's see how they respond to losing the lead after holding it for more than a half. About 2.5 quarters, they had the lead. Malcolm Thomas will be your tailback. Edmund Robinson is the fullback. Kevin Mason pulls the trigger. Wants the throw, goes short. Pass is intercepted. Intercepted by number 9, Chad Wilson, who stepped in front of Marvin Harrison.
This is the first time that Syracuse has gone outside their personality. We mentioned they're an option team, and that's what they run. Drop back pass right here, first down. They throw an out pattern to the left side. And Chad Wilson picks off his second pass of the year.
Syracuse people on the sidelines were hollering he didn't make a clean catch. It's catch.
And they're right. He did not catch that ball. He did not catch that ball. It hit the ground.
Well, they own it. First down at the 46. James Stewart is the single back. And he takes it across the 40. 7 yards on the carry.
Let's go back and take one more look. Good protection. This ball is going to go right through his arms. Right there on the ground. The official right there, look at the official. Couldn't see it because he was blocked off by the receiver for Syracuse.
You got another Syracuse man hurt. It's Antoine Pons, who came into the ball game, a redshirt freshman out of Jacksonville, dinged up. And you've got a timeout taken right now for Antoine.
Every company has an Edwina, the planner, the organizer, the one who tracks your packages. Only today, she's out sick, and you have to track them yourself. Luckily, she uses UPS. Just pop in our tracking software and you'll know when your package was delivered and who signed for it in seconds. Now, if only you could use it to find the bathroom key.
You want to be champions? Then play like champions. You got to be relentless. You got to be clever. You've got speed. Use it.
One car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR.
Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing.
Genuine Chevrolet.
I was shocked to learn that most ordinary credit cards charge interest from the moment you buy something. if you carry a balance as little as $1. Thankfully, American Express has introduced a new credit card called the Optima True Grace Card. You get an interest-free grace period on each new purchase, even when you carry a balance. It's a good thing.
But don't just throw away your old credit cards. Recycle them. I'm retiling my pool.
Apply today and cut your interest charges.
Antoine Pond was helped off the field. Kevin Mason was on the sidelines after having been intercepted. Miami has the football, second down and 4. It's just inside the Syracuse 40. Field position in the second half, opposite of what it was in the first half. Costa, ball is tipped. Ball is tipped. That is not a lateral. That's an incomplete forward pass. Scott Freeney was the defensive lineman or outside linebacker that got his hands on it for Syracuse. So it was not a lateral pass. Some people seem to think it was, but it wasn't.
But it's poor timing. It's a poor play, because if you're going to throw that, you have to have a lineman getting on the defensive end, Freeney,
otherwise he steps in
and get his hand out. Watch this. If you're going to throw this ball, you got to get the man's hands down. 77 is sitting back. You got to fire out. That's Melski. You got to get his hands down, or else you're going to get the ball knocked up in the air and it's going to get picked off. That's poor coordination.
Ferguson is the single back. Blitz from the corner. Ferguson inside, close to the first down. Number 9, Rod Gadsden, a nickelback, was blitzing from the outside and got there a little late. And they'll bring the chains off.
Gadsden, number 9, and Jamie German, number 7, for the Hurricanes, went to Fort Lauderdale High School. Not Fort Lauderdale, Fort Myers High School together. German was the wide receiver, and Gadsden was the quarterback. They called each other, talked to each other each week, and they had some good conversations this week talking about this one.
Just short.
It is fourth down.
Fourth and about a foot. Here comes Derek Harris, an extra tight end. Here comes Saeed Tucker, another tight end. Saeed was a starter a year ago. Got hurt. Deafness won the job. You got James Stewart in, so all the big guys are out there going fourth and a foot.
This is the elephant team right here.
Costa keeps it, and he's got the first down. Put the ball at the 35, first down for the Canes. They lead 7-6 with 7:23 to play in the third quarter. Stewart right up the middle. Picked up 9 on the play, and we jump over to John Saunders.
Keith, in the Pac-10, USC and Washington State. Rob Johnson hooks up once again with Keyshawn Johnson. They missed the point after. 13-3, Trojans with the lead. And Oregon against Arizona State, leading it by 10 at halftime. Keith.
Thank you, sir. 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Miami trying to build a lead here now. They lead by 1 point. Go to Stewart. Pops it over that. He's free. Touchdown, Hurricane. 27-yard touchdown run by James Stewart.
He's got the speed. He's 6'3" and 235. Terrell Green, number 51, is going to pull and get a block on Abrams. He's got 4.3 speed with all that size and weight. 16 carries, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Stewart.
Not a good idea to be doing finger pointing, however. When you go to the next level, somebody will take it home with them. The extra point try is good. And the Miami Hurricanes here in the third quarter have bounced back now to take a 14-6 lead over the Syracuse Orangemen. An interception, a turnover, put the ball on the Syracuse end of the field, and the Canes stuck it in the end zone on a 27-yard run. And next Saturday, starting at 12 noon Eastern Time, Notre Dame and Florida State out of Orlando. Then the second games about the country will include these: Penn State at Illinois, Alabama and Mississippi State, Baylor and Rice, Arizona and USC. Arizona USC, another very big ball game in the Pac-10 Rose Bowl chase.
Yep. Let's go back and take a look at one of the biggest plays on that last drive for Miami. It got it started. The interception by Chad Wilson that really wasn't. Watch the ball hit the ground right there. But you know, Keith, you go through a game or a season, you're going to get some good calls and bad calls. You have to overcome the bad ones.
It balances out.
Yeah, it does.
Turner at the 7. Almost lost the ball. Yep. Canes arguing they got it, but the referee. Oh, you don't. Once again, here's Lynn.
Keith, linebacker Antoine Pound for Syracuse was on the sideline. It took most of the time on the sideline just to take off the tape and the knee brace to get to his knee to check it out. Once they did, they determined he was okay. They took him into the locker room to retape it, but he is literally taped from his ankles, the bottom of his feet, all the way up to beyond his knee to protect that right knee, Keith.
Sure. Tough business. Malcolm Thomas is the tailback now behind Robinson. Option down the line. Mason kept it and turned it all the way to the 39-yard line.
See, now they're back to what they do best.
And Mason's hurt. Larry Tiger, a redshirt freshman, is listed behind him at quarterback. Keith Downing is listed number 3, but it's Downing popped up.
Yeah, they said either one of them could go in. Yeah. It's the problem with the option offense is the quarterback takes a lot of hits.
So it'll be Downing coming in.
Take a look at the option. Fullback gets a block. There's a huge hole there. Now he's getting hit low, high, in the air. Don't ever go in the air.
No, it's 54 that does most of the damage, though. James Burgess just squeezed the air out of him when he drove him into the ground.
He's a good kid, though. He didn't whine. He waited his turn. He learned from Marvin Graves. Some people around here think that he's got a stronger arm and that he's faster and running the option better. They think he's better than Marvin. He just hasn't had the opportunity to play as much.
All right, Keith Downing is into the ball game. 6'3", 196. He's a redshirt freshman out of Fairport, New York. I think you'll see Mason back shortly, but Downing's out there right now with the first down at the 39-yard line. Miami leading 14-6. Handed off to Malcolm Thomas. And again, there is good offensive line work by Syracuse for a pickup of 6 yards. And here comes Mason back.
Mason came into the game with a string of 77 straight completions without an interception. That goes back 3 games. efficient passer.
Second clock shows 0.
False start.
False start is the call, however. Paul Pasqualoni. If there is anything I would like to see, I'd like to see him smile more. He is so intense. My goodness.
He loves his job, though, doesn't he?
Yes, he's a single man who works till 10 o'clock most every night.
It's his 8th year at Syracuse, his 4th as a head coach.
Second time for the Orangemen. Make it second down and 10 now as the ball comes back just inside the 40. No place to go. Warren Sapp, Kennard Lang, 76 and 96.
Syracuse offensively, Keith, has scored only 17 points against Miami's defense in the last 3 games they've played. Miami, as we mentioned earlier, has not given up a touchdown on the road or to a Big East opponent this year. So if Syracuse is going to come back, they're going to have to break some strings.
3rd and 17. Ball is flapping around. It's incomplete forward pass. He was trying to throw it as he was going down, and it was knocked out of there. So it is an incomplete forward pass, and they will punt it.
Watch the bottom of your screen. Number 96 is Lang. He's going to be being a beneficiary of the double team on Sapp, number 76. Lang leads the team with 8 sacks, but one of the reasons is because all of the attention that Warren Sapp gets right next to him.
Sean Reale is in to punt. Jamie German is waiting for it at the 25. Retreat a bit. 21. Penalty flags all over the place. Jim Turner was shoved in the back. And the penalty will go against Miami.
And the 2 players involved were smiling about it. They knew he was waiting for him to turn, and he just didn't turn.
So the penalty goes against Miami, and we go to Swanee.
Well, Keith, we're talking about the Miami offense so much of the time, and they've got a great defense. Take a look at the teams in the past that have won national championships and look to see where they are in scoring offense, but more importantly, look at the scoring defense. Obviously, if you can't score, you got a better chance of winning these ball games, and the defense of Miami has been the foundation for those national championships, and they're looking pretty good this afternoon.
They are.
Well, that's so true, Lenny. Everybody remembers the Kozars and the Testaverdes and the Walshes of Miami, but that defense was the one that always set the tone.
Ball is on the 12-yard line, and it's Larry Jones picking his way up to the 21. He got 9 yards on a carry that was detoured momentarily, but regenerated by his own personal strength.
And that defense, Keith, of Miami has had to kind of hold up or bolster the offense, because as we've seen here in the first half with Miami, they've taken a while to get going. They've done that before this season. It takes them a while to get going. They've been inconsistent, they miss, but the defense has always been there.
Costa gives it to Jones, and he's got a first down at about the 28-yard line. Now they get a little room behind them. They're beginning to take control of the line of scrimmage.
And one of the reasons is they're running the ball up the middle. Since the injury to Antoine Pons, that is the 3rd linebacker that Syracuse has lost in the middle this year. They lost Nate Hemsley early in the year, and Greg Shaw also. Pons is the 3rd inside linebacker that has gone out with an injury.
2:45 in the 3rd quarter.
There he comes. He's coming back.
Jones drilled down about the line of scrimmage. 83. Chris Marks got there first, junior from Everett, Massachusetts. In this quarter, with 2:20 to go, Miami has picked up 103 yards, and Syracuse just 15.
It's 2nd and 9 for Miami.
Antoine Pound is back.
Take a look at I wonder who got fired up at halftime and who didn't. Erickson got him going. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns.
Costa out of the shotgun, goes down the middle. Tellison is there for the catch. He's having a good day near the 45, and another Miami first down, and here's John.
Keith, in the Pac-10, Arizona State trying to keep Oregon out of the Rose Bowl, but Danny O'Neal goes 15 yards to Kristen McLemore. 20-3 is the lead for the Ducks. In the WAC, Utah had a big lead over New Mexico, but it's only one now, 21-20. Keith.
The Ducks are for real, huh?
We'll see. 4 catches and 53 yards for A.C. Tellison.
Wait a minute, they beat Washington and they beat Arizona.
Yep. The only problem you got with Oregon is a very thin team. One injury could just absolutely disrupt the whole thing for them. This is Green, Yatil Green, making the catch.
So look at the Bowl Coalition top 25. Everybody's doing all right or playing later. Of course, Syracuse is losing here.
All in Syracuse territory, 49-yard line, 2nd down.
Washington State is losing. Southern Cal. North Carolina lost.
2nd down and 3. This is Larry Jones and another Miami first down, and now I think you can clearly see that the Miami offensive line is taking control of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and they're running inside.
The thing about Oregon, and nobody in the world could be happier for Rich Brooks than I am, because they've had some hard times, and Rich gave up the AD's job and all of that to go back to coaching. But they've got 3 losses, and but the ones in the conference are the ones that count.
That's right.
Jones again. That's about the 34. 20-yard line, excuse me, the 34-yard line. When Miami came out to start the 3rd quarter, you had a sense that they were jacked up.
Well, and I think the defense was on the field first for Miami, and they set the tone. They were jacked up. They came out and stopped Syracuse, and the offense is like the little brother of the defense.
So we've got a quarter to go. Miami leads at 14-6. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station.
At BASF, we don't make the mattress, we make it softer. We don't make the boots, we make them drier. We don't make the house, we make it livelier. We don't make the snowboard, we make it stronger. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
People are much more satisfied than they have been in the past. Now with quality care standards, we have some guidelines to follow. This is what the customers want. They want to have their appointment within a day. They want to have their car fixed right the first time. This is them.
It's crunch time, really, for Syracuse, because Miami has the ball. They're moving the ball. They own the line of scrimmage in the 3rd quarter. Now it's time for the Orangemen, if they're to have a chance, to dig as deep as they can. On 2nd down and 6, Larry Jones takes it to the 30. He's a couple of yards short of the first down.
Here's a look at the 3rd quarter numbers. Miami's starting to take over. The 2 turnovers on the Syracuse side, that one led to touchdown and the 153 yards rushing for Miami. When they rush for 150 yards, they've won 41 games in a row.
They're using Jones and Stewart now just to beat on them. Syracuse is all messed up. They got the wrong people in the ball game. They're substituting 5 at a time, and that time it did not work out. They lose the timeout.
As your engine revs higher, the oil inside creates a hydrodynamic wedge, a protective layer that builds up and keeps engine parts separated. But as your oil's viscosity breaks down, so can the wedge. That's why Castrol GTX provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. Because if your viscosity breaks down, what's next? Castrol GTX, engineered for greater protection against breakdown. Try Super Clean, the Tough Task Cleaner Degreaser from Castrol.
Folks there, the small contingent here, but they're pretty happy. Third down conversions for the Canes today, 5 out of 10. 14:27 to go in the game. Pitch to Stewart, and on third down and 2, he turns the corner for the first down. Something's been happening up in Pullman. Let's hear about it from John.
Well, Keith, your alma mater's getting it going here. Washington State against USC, and Chad Davis drops back, lofts the pass right into the arms of Eric Moore, and they have their first touchdown within a field goal now, Keith.
Pretty good little ball game. I wonder if Brent and Dick went up to see my alumni center.
And did they name it after Turian?
Yes. James Stewart. Big back, big, strong back, just a hammer. He's bigger than Lawrence Phillips. In fact, Stewart, I guess, may be about the biggest of running backs about the country.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there may be a bigger one, but
not with his success and notoriety.
Not with his speed.
Yeah. Rutgers is showing some signs of getting a program that's going to produce some wins. State University of New Jersey. All you got to do is keep 10% of the New Jersey kids at home.
A lot of football players in the state of New Jersey.
Yes. Second down and 8. From the 25 for Miami. Costa pumps it. And he's down to about the 16. That'll be a first down.
Miami first down.
I would think that Bill Curry's probably had about enough of life in Lexington. Things have not gone well there this year.
And that business a little earlier with his family was really distasteful.
17-yard line, first down, Miami. Stewart again. He had Kevin Abrams hanging on him, and he had the strength to go ahead and pick up a couple of yards, and you got a Miami man down on the field. Auburn winning again today. Mississippi State winning today, and they've got Alabama coming in next week, and the Tide's down at LSU tonight. It is Ricky Perry who is hurt. Ricky Perry is a 329-pound junior offensive tackle, and he's in pain.
Injured players, number 73, Ricky Perry.
Tomorrow on ABC Sports, 3 Eastern, the elite distance runners of the world will be involved in the 25th running of the New York City Marathon, which will not be shown in the New York area, at least our coverage. Then live from Hawaii at 4 Eastern, 3 Central and Pacific, the final round of the Lincoln Mercury Kapalua International. All tomorrow here on ABC Sports. Remind you again now, the New York City Marathon will not be shown in the New York area. Robert Woodis would be the man to replace Ricky Perry. He's hurting some. has to leave the game when the timeout is called, and he's got leg trouble. Kansas State remains a prominent contender for a rather good bowl game. Oklahoma winning today. Colorado didn't score a whole lot of points, but they got the win.
They're having trouble getting Ricky off the field. They're going to need some players and not student managers to get him off.
329 pounds of him. 20.
Well, Keith, Dan Conley is also on the bench for Syracuse. He's got an ice pack on that bad knee of his. It is just sore. It's not injured, but it's a good picture of what this young man has been going through throughout his career. He gets into a ball game, he gives you 100% everything he has, but when he can't take any more of the pain, when it's too sore, he comes off to the sideline, tries to ice it down to get something back so he can go back in the ball game. Keith?
Okay, 20. This is a big loss for Miami, though, if he's hurt.
Yeah, he was one of their top 2 offensive linemen.
And you have to kind of think down the road. Miami still got Boston College coming down there at the end of the season. That won't be a gimme. And then, of course, everybody's talking about Miami, Nebraska possibly in the Orange Bowl. It is 2nd down and 7. James Stewart, the single back. The ball is on the Syracuse 14-yard line. Stewart goes in behind the fresh legs on the right side. Robert Woodus, and gets a couple of yards out of it. Let's update you now on what's happening with the Ohio State Buckeyes and Wisconsin.
Well, Wisconsin beat Michigan earlier, but they are having the problems with Ohio State. Bobby Hoying to Chris Sanders, 16 yards. Second time these two have hooked up today. Eddie George just ran one in, 24-3. And look at the standings in the Big Ten. Remember, the number 2 team goes to the Citrus Bowl. Keith.
Thank you, John. Stewart now has 100 yards on 20 carries. Shotgun, 3rd down and 6. Costa gets rid of it in a hurry. Green, touchdown, Miami. Yatil Green is a redshirt freshman from Lake City, Florida, 6'3", 193 pounds. Get used to the name. He'll be around a while.
This is the wide receiver screen. Watch the lineman will block and then come downfield to block the linebackers. The throw is high. Green makes a nice catch of it and runs it in for the touchdown.
Comes at 11:39 to play in the ball game. They had the ball for 14 plays to go 88 yards, and Pruitt makes it. No, he did not make it. 20-6. Pruitt is wide right. There is something about place kickers in Florida and wide right. I've heard that before.
FSU?
Dear Diary, today it's sunny and noisy. Helicopter! Iggy! A helicopter! We're saved! We're saved! We're saved! We're saved! Frank, we're sending you down. Oh, you look good. Oh, you look good. Come here.
Hey, what are you looking at?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
You still make a great lasagna.
My son is making it now. I'll tell you, a while back, I didn't think there'd be a restaurant for him.
This place, it's always busy.
Well, that wasn't the problem. It was everything else. It was insurance and health plans. My guy at Penwiver, he helped me out with all that.
The stockbroker?
Yes, he even set us up with a 401k.
I guess you must really know how important this place is to your family.
Yeah. Because he took the time to ask.
CFA College Football on ABC Sports, brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Bud Light, if you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. Bayer, for the relief of tough body and joint pain. You get older, you get smarter, you get Bayer. And quality care service at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers. That extra point Dane Pruitt just missed was number 5 this year. Dardar and Turner waiting for Pruitt's kick. Going toward Turner. Yard deep. Good little move to get him across the 20, and a penalty flag. Probably got a push in the back, I do believe. Yep, that's exactly it. It's against Syracuse. And let's spend a moment with Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, I'm on the Miami bench standing behind Ricky Perry, number 73, the offensive lineman that came off. He is not coming back in the ball game. They believe it is just a sprain on his left foot, but he had surgery on that foot in January, so they're going to keep him out of the ball game, take him in, have him x-rayed as a precaution, and not let him go back into the ball game. Keith?
Yes, sir. This will be the worst starting point for Syracuse all day. They're on 8-yard line. 11:33 to play in the game, and they'll go with Dardar and Willis in the backfield. Harrison is the wide out close to the camera there. They run it, and Kirby Dardar, who's quite an explosive slashing runner, gets it out across the 15 out to the 18-yard line. That's very close to a first down. It is the first down. I want to thank the Syracuse marching band. They had delivered a sweatshirt. They heard that I had some luggage missing. I found the luggage. It was delivered promptly, but I got the sweatshirt and I'm going to keep it.
Should I ask what airline you were flying?
No. Penalty flags all over the place. It was handled well. Face mask against Miami. I merely wanted to thank the marching band.
Here's a look at the game in yards. First half, Syracuse won the battle, and in the second half, it's been all Miami.
Defeat is heavy. Malcolm Thomas in the backfield now with Dardar and Willis. Mason keeping. He ducked under one potential collision and picked up a first down.
Well, this is the way that Syracuse has to do it. They can't drop back and just throw pocket passes. Not because their quarterback can't throw, but because their offensive line can't pass protect that way. They need the option, they need the threat of the run, and they can throw that way.
So put the first down at the 31-yard line with Mason now 3 out of 7, 25 yards, interception, and he's run for 40 yards on 11 carries. This is Dardar. He's got a couple. And if time permits, we invite you to stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report with scores and highlights from about the country. Almost 70 degrees today, or might have even gone past that since we came to the ballpark. Incredible streak of weather lately here in the Syracuse area, which annually is one of the early snowfall places. this year. Timeout called by Syracuse. With 9:42 to play in the game, and Miami leading 20-6.
East of the Texas Hill Country in Austin, there's a place that just won't let you go home hungry. It's called Threadgill's. And here you might find yourself behind a great big chicken fried steak, a mountain of red beans and rice, or even a microphone. So if you go, bring your appetite for a good time and your Visa card. Because Threadgill's might let you take the stage, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Boy, they make it tough to compare, don't they? Hey! Buddy, I'm saying they make it really tough to compare, don't they? I mean, this one is bigger. This one's faster. This one's got more stuff. And am I crazy? Are all these things all about the same price? How can that be? If they all charge about the same, does that mean that they put them all together the same and they're going to take care of you the same? I don't think so.
What is thy bidding, my master?
There is a great disturbance in the Force. Get his battery.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Still going. Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going.
20-6 ball game. You see the time remaining at 9:42. Southern California Trojans have scored again against Washington State and increased their lead to 20-10 in the fourth quarter of play. Rob Johnson has always had big ball game against Cougars.
Played well up there, hadn't he? Yeah, against the Cougars.
Yes.
You know, that happens sometimes. I don't know why. Maybe just the colors of the other team. You feel comfortable playing against another team.
On 2nd and 7 from the 34. It is Malcolm Thomas. Finally pushed out of bounds. There's a penalty flag back at the 40-yard line. Holding Syracuse. It'll come back. Here's John Saunders.
Keith, you just mentioned the score, and here it is. Rob Johnson again for the third time today. He hits Keyshawn Johnson, who fights his way out of a tackle, and then it's a foot race. A nice cut right there for the touchdown. His third of the day, 65 yards. And right now it's 20-10. Oregon still leading Arizona State. If those scores hold up, Oregon gets the Rose Bowl if they win the rest of their games. Keith.
And I expect they very well might. Though funny things happen in the Willamette Valley when Oregon State get together. Oregon State's the wishbone team in the Pac-10. Syracuse penalties, they have 10 for 83 yards. But, you know, one of the things that wanders through my mind, Bob, talking about Oregon going to the Rose Bowl, is how much fun it would be to see the face of my old friend Len Casanova as his beloved Oregon team goes back to the Rose Bowl. That would be pure joy. Now well into his 80s. Great move by Mason. You better throw it, son. And he can't find anybody to throw it to, and there's a considerable loss on the play.
Holmes and Sapp and everybody was all over the field. Sapp finally pushed him out of bounds, slapped him on the head. He was a tight end. Sapp was a tight end when he first got to the University of Miami, and he had such good footwork and size. He's now 280 and 6'3" that he outgrew the tight end position, but he's from a small town in Florida, Plymouth, Florida. He was raised by a single parent, his mother, one of 6 children. He says she dished out a lot of love, a lot of food, and a lot of discipline. He says, my mom is my world. And when he goes into the NFL, he's going to take care of his mom.
He's got a man. It's Wilson, and it is intercepted. And then not held. Number 12, Carlos Jones, was going man mano-mano against Sermon Wilson, seemed to have the interception, and as they came down, he couldn't hold it.
Left side of your screen. It's a nice play by Carlos Jones to make a play on the ball.
He had it there, didn't he? Huh.
Yeah, Wilson did a nice job to knock it loose. Yep.
Here comes the punt from Sean Reale. Hooked it left.
The Lombardi finalist. He'd be a defensive Heisman Trophy candidate for sure. There's the lady he was talking about who raised him and said, boy, he said, if you did anything wrong at school or down the road or anywhere, she knew it before you got home. And there'd be hell to pay. Second half possessions for Miami. They got it straightened out at halftime, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Danielle Ferguson, the single back from the 46-yard line, first down. Ferguson is in there for about 9 yards, and we go inside 9 minutes now at 8:59. 20-6 Miami. Danielle Ferguson played with your youngest, didn't he, Brian?
Yes, he did at Columbus High School in Miami. He was, in fact, he set the county rushing record for Dade County in Miami. Wanted to stay home and play with the university, and brings a little bit different dimension to the Hurricanes. He's got speed and toughness, and is a slashing type of runner.
3 wideouts now, the bottom of your picture. On 2nd down and 1, easily has the first down as he runs it down to the Syracuse 38-37-yard line. Clearly, the Canes are in control now.
Yeah.
Syracuse just wore down. They just wore them out.
Yeah, let's throw some bouquets to that offensive line. Watch as they're going to be blocking. And there's going to be a huge hole right up in here where Ferguson is going to run the football. Straight blocking, nothing fancy. 66 is Seminette. Jones is the center. Green, 51, is doing a stellar job. It's the offensive line that's carried the load for Miami.
Number 40 steps into the fray. George Myers, a sophomore from Bayonne, New Jersey, for that tackle. And when you look in underneath all of that armor, Lordy, they look young, don't they?
Oh, don't they? I mean, just because they're wearing a helmet and pads and they look ferocious and fearful, you have to remember that they're 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids that are going to school and only practicing football for 20 hours a week. And they're entitled to make some mistakes.
Costa got something out of it. About 5 yards.
Costa's one of those guys that's known some adversity. A tough year last year. He was benched in '93. They had high expectations. A lot of criticisms. In fact, he said he got a call from Bernie Kosar, who was one of the ex-quarterbacks for the university, and Bernie of the Cleveland Browns last year said, hey, he says, keep your spirits up. He says, nothing's happening to you that hasn't happened to all the rest of us. It goes with the territory. He said it really meant a lot for Bernie to give him a call.
3rd down and 4. Ferguson. He's close. Didn't get it, though. Costa in today's ball game is 10 of 22 for 118 yards and a touchdown, and that's short.
And probably the main problem that Costa has, Keith, are the comparisons that they keep throwing up. They keep remembering the Testaverdes and the Jim Kellys and the Torettas and the Steve Walshes. and the Kozars, and he is not that type of player. He cannot carry this team by himself.
Gets the first down.
And it's not his fault for that. It's just the type of player he is. Those players were a lot better and had a lot more talent than Costa. And here's what's going for the Hurricanes right here, and this is why the Hurricanes have been successful. 202 yards on 43 rushes. That's over 5 yards per rush, or close to it. And that's very good.
From the 27 now, the pitch to Daniel Ferguson. And he is shoved out of bounds by Darryl Parker, the strong safety. We'll start next Saturday at 12 noon Eastern time from Orlando, the Citrus Bowl, Florida State's home game. Notre Dame coming to town. Florida State's the one that's going to be all jacked up to turn things around after that tough, close loss last year. You heard Lou Holtz at halftime talking about that. Thing that makes it doubly dangerous, so he's had an extra week to get into his thing, and he's pretty good at it. Penn State, Illinois is a very important ball game. Alabama, Mississippi State, very important ball game. A lot of stuff going on these days in college football. 5:56. Ferguson again. Down to the 16-yard line. That'll be another first down.
At the 17-yard line.
You want to check around next week and call your local cable operator to see which of the pay-per-view games are available on cable and which game is being shown in your area, particularly in the second half of our doubleheader. You could have quite a banquet. This is the 9th play in this possession. Stewart has scored 3 touchdowns today. Ferguson's in there doing the heavy work right now, and he makes it first and goal to go from the 3-yard line.
Well, there's no question that this offensive line is dominating now. They control the line of scrimmage. 51 is Green, 63 is Jones. Simonette is 66, who just clears that gaping hole. Alan Simonette, number 66. Amelski on the left side. That's the difference in this offense this year than in the past. This offensive line, who have been young the last couple of years, have really come of age. And Greg Smith, the offensive line coach and assistant head coach, needs to get the credit.
Miami has taken a timeout with an even 5 minutes to play in the game.
When young policyholders come to me, I look at them and think, boy, that was me 15 years ago. I remember.
In the first half, the Canes had 56 yards. In the second half, they've had 170.
Trying to get him to go in motion.
He turns and gives the ball to Derek Harris, who is listed basically as a tight end. 5'11", 250 pounds, a junior out of Willow Ridge, Texas. He's been in several times today as a tight end, primarily as a blocker. But he has been a running back and a block of a fullback, if you will. So they tried him, and he got a yard. But he was, Costa was stomping his foot trying to get Ferguson to go in motion.
He didn't have an itch, or he wasn't, he didn't hear some music down at that end. It was, he wanted the tailback to go in motion.
All right, let's see what happens with Ferguson here. He's got it. He's in traffic. He's got a penalty flag thrown in his direction. Let's see what that's all about.
face mask on the defense. After it 6 to the goal line, repeat second down.
So they'll repeat second down. Harris got in there. Touchdown. So they run that 250-pounder out of the fullback position, and he sticks it in the end zone. And that thump you heard was the door slamming. Just warmed out and really asserted themselves with the running game in the second half. Syracuse, in case some of you might not know, but only Boston College is smaller in the Big East than Syracuse. Enrollment here is 10,200. Pruitt's extra point this time is good. And Syracuse must go far to recruit their. They have 16 states represented on their roster as they came to the ballpark today. And the reason for that is there's just not that much population around here. There are only 9 AA high school teams in the immediate region. And the coach said yesterday 2 of those probably should not be ranked AA. But they have run a lot of people through this organization over the years, in 104 years of college football. Names that you can't help but recognize. I mean, how about that? Zonka and Little and Monk and Morris and Darrell Johnson, who's a great player right now for the Dallas Cowboys.
Some pretty good running backs in that group, aren't there?
Goodness. Brown, Davis, Ernie Davis, is a wonderful player. John Mackey. There have been a lot of them come through here.
Saw Joe Morris. He's here for the game today, by the way. These are just some of the great players that have come through here through the years.
Utah is losing to New Mexico. And USC has kicked the field goal for a 13-point lead, and that's got to be getting pretty late in the ball game now. So I think that one is decided. And they'll be glancing out of the corner of their eye and looking for a party tonight in Eugene, Oregon, probably. 35-yard line. Pruitt hits it, going toward the corner. Jim Turner waiting on it a yard deep in the end zone, and he's going to stay there. So they'll bring it out to the 20, where it'll be first down for Syracuse with 3 minutes and 49 seconds to play in the ball game, and you get a flag thrown at the 10-yard line. Some frustration starting to show up now, but this is a personal foul call against Miami. And that's a bit silly, actually, because you're in control of things now at 27-6, and time running out, and you get a personal foul on a play where the ball is already dead.
Well, here's a look at Miami winning at Syracuse today. They have Pittsburgh at home, and then they go to Temple, and then their last game, Boston College at home. And I would think that might be their toughest assignment before. If they win those 3, I would think that the chances of them going to the Orange Bowl are pretty good.
Yep.
And playing Nebraska.
Yep. You know, the Big East Conference is a turf conference. There's only one grass field. Gain is 9 yards. Pass caught by Marvin Harrison. Syracuse has played on grass 1 time this year. That was down in East Carolina. Miami, of course, being the only team that plays on grass in the Big East. Second down and 1. And the folks are now beginning to head home from supper table. Kirby Dardar runs into midfield and just across. Utah defeated today by New Mexico. New Mexico is a team that's kind of played in tough luck this year. Pretty good little football team. And they got a big one today in beating Utah. The Utes fall for the first time.
You know, Keith, you mentioned Oregon. They have 2 games left. They control their own destiny. They're at Stanford, and they are at Oregon State, as you mentioned, and that's like backyard brawl right there.
Malcolm Thomas. And this is the youngster right here that some people think has the potential to grow into a Joe Morris type of running back. And he right now, as a young sophomore, is 5'8", 196 pounds. He is from Jacksonville, Florida, and was thinking about going to Georgia Southern. And changed his mind and came on up here. That 125, incidentally, on the sleeve of the Syracuse players is 125th year.
Syracuse played well for a half, and then they just gave out.
Yep. Oh, pretty good block right there. Another good block to keep the quarterback over. And he dances on down the sidelines and gets inside the 20-yard line. Key block that time came from Melvin Tootin, number 74, who came over and took out 2.
He took him out. He's 6'7" and 300, and did he take him out?
I walked up to him yesterday and just kind of leaned on him. It was like leaning on a tree. I mean, he is a big man. First down at the Miami 19, but the issue is no longer in doubt. 2.5 minutes to play in the ballgame. 27-16. This is Thomas running in the middle. Adonis Scott, number 25, hit a pretty good lick on the Syracuse running back Thomas that time. He's going to, I think, maybe have, well, the referee's talking to him now. And he's saying, you know, control yourself. Don't want to throw a flag.
Miami has their second team defense in there, but they don't want to give up a touchdown. Got that string against Big East teams.
Yeah, but you've got a second team in there that's fresh late in the ball game. Here's the pitch. And Thomas to the 10, thereabouts. Make it the 11. And 1:40, the clock is running. You know, got some joy going out there now. There's no reason for that. Just going back to the huddle and play.
There's a look at McMacken, the defensive coordinator, this year for the first time. Tommy Tuberville last year left. Went on to, I think he went to Texas A&M. Sonny Lubick was there a few years ago. The point is that Miami changes coordinators, but the defense continues at a high level because of the athletes, the style of play they use, and they didn't change the system when Erickson came in.
Well, Tootin finally broke. He was hunkered down so long he was probably getting cramps. You quarterbacks don't understand that. You get up there and you start singing songs and changing counts and changing plays, and it's hard when you're a big old fella to hunker down there that long.
Yeah, but you do it in practice, you know, intentionally. Just you're training and you're teaching in these guys, and you're just preparing them for the games. You do it in practice. You don't do anything in the game that you don't do in practice.
Well, Melvin's tired. He's been working hard.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This is a special ABC News.
This is Barry Serafin in Washington. Former President Ronald Reagan this afternoon released a letter to the American people disclosing that he has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. In his letter, Mr. Reagan says he is disclosing the disease, as he and his wife Nancy did regarding their bouts with cancer, in the hope of raising public awareness and understanding of the mind-crippling disease. Mr. Reagan, now 83 years old, says at the moment he feels fine. In an accompanying statement, the former president's doctors say he is in the early stages of Alzheimer's disease, but as the years go on, his health will deteriorate. In his handwritten letter, Mr. Reagan says, "I only wish there was some way I could spare Nancy from this painful experience." Mr. Reagan says it was an honor to serve as president, and closes by saying, "I now begin the journey that will lead me into the sunset of my life." Again, former President Ronald Reagan has disclosed that he has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. I'm Barry Serafin, ABC News, Washington.
Back Back at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York, we have 32 seconds remaining in a ball game that has been decided for some time, with Miami leading Syracuse by a score of 27-6. It's always kind of wearing to hear something like the former president's problem there, but he's had special kind of life.
Yeah, I think back to my meeting with him when we were Purdue's only visit to the Rose Bowl. We were at Disneyland out there, and he was governor at the time, and he came out and visited with both teams. Very delightful man.
Kevin Mason in a hurry. He's agile. Look at this. Look out. Got a chance. Down to the 6-yard line. Great effort.
You talk about, yes, talk about some grit. He took everybody. He took about 16 of the 22 players on the field for a little run. Right here. Now he's got about 10 of them chasing him, and the rest of them are going to follow both teams. Now he's going to cross field. This is a quarterback, folks. This is not a running back.
He's still up. And they finally pull him down at the 11-yard line, and the game is over. So the Miami Hurricanes come north, and they win again by a score of 27-6. The genuine Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are the Miami's Casey Jones, the center, and we name him because the offensive line of Miami just absolutely took control in the second half of play. And number 49 for Syracuse right there, Dan Conley, the linebacker whose knees have been operated on 10 times. He had 13 tackles, 1 interception, and broke up a pass. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund, rewarding outstanding students for academic achievements and to help those in financial need. Now here is Lynn Swan.
Coach, I'm with Dennis Erickson. Coach, congratulations on a big win. You control your destiny in the Big East. They presented you with a number of problems, though, in the first half.
Well, yeah, they played extremely well. They played with tremendous emotion and just played well. We were very lucky to be in the game. We came out in the second half and played extremely well.
I know I talked to you yesterday, and we talked about the crowd noise and how you really wanted to get in and take them out. What was the conversation with you and your team at the end of that first half?
Well, we just knew we had to come out and run the football, be better on offense, basically, and that's what we did, and we played good on defense. And they played their hearts out. Syracuse, you got to give them a lot of credit.
In a ball game you look at like this, you look at the second half, you think the keys are the adjustments you have to make. What was the most important adjustment you think you made?
We didn't make a lot of adjustments. We just executed better with what we did.
And Stewart and Sapp, talk about their play?
Well, they both played extremely well. It's, you know, James came out, run the ball. Of course, Warren always plays well.
Coach, congratulations. Thank you.
All right, your standings now in the Big East Conference. Miami remaining undefeated. Syracuse dropping to 4-1, and the Canes are in pretty good shape. Now we invite you to stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country. Your final score, 27-6, Miami over Syracuse.
A promotional fee has been paid by Northwest Airlines.
Some people just know how to fly.
If there's a kid who's interested in what you do, share what you've learned with them. You might turn their interest into ambition. Help a child learn and keep learning.
Saturday on an all-new Commish, one of Tony's callers comes back to even the score.
He's in the house.
The Commish, Saturday here on ABC.
The 94 boat, change is in the air. But some things never change. Jennings, Brinkley, election night. Stay with ABC News.
Dear car owners, Midas is pleased to announce the Midas Wheel Deal. We're offering outstanding value.
Our New York studios, your host, John Saunders.
Miami, the leaders in the Big East, win it 27-6 over Syracuse, whose streak comes to an end. One game that has just come to an end, this one an upset because Utah had yet to lose this year in the WAC facing New Mexico. They lose it on a field goal in the final minute, 22-yarder by Nathan Vale. With just over 30 seconds remaining, 23-21 was the score. Stoney Case, 56-yard pass, set that up. Dan Pulsifer missed a 67-yarder on the final play of the game that would have given them the win. Back with more in a moment.
Since the beginning, you could all...
153 yards. Penn State beats Indiana 35-29. Kerry Collins 20 of 32, 213 yards. Tejana Carter had 192 yards. And Auburn remains unbeaten 38-21. Patrick Nix 15 of 23, 261 yards. Right now, back out to the Dome and rejoin Keith Jackson where Miami has beaten Syracuse. Keith.
All right, John, here it was a final of 27-6, Miami beating Syracuse. It was all Miami in the second half. Syracuse led at halftime by a score of 6-0. One of the principal personalities for Miami all day long was number 76, defensive tackle Warren Sapp. He talks here with Lynn Swann.
Warren, I learned a great deal from you talking to you yesterday about what you expect coming into the ball game. Everybody seems to change up for you when they see you coming in. How was it this afternoon?
I mean, it was a little bit more difficult than usual because of the new service they got, and I was losing my footing a little bit. But once we got accustomed to what they was doing on offense, I mean, we played real well.
What was a major adjustment you made after you got a feel for what was happening in this ball game?
Well, I mean, I started recognizing line stances a little more, and we were swarming more as a defense, and everybody was in sync then. We got a little more cohesiveness in the second half, and we played real good in the second half.
Congratulations on the big win.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right.
And so the Canes are the only undefeated team left in the Big East Conference as they beat Syracuse today.
(1891). Siemens creates a...
For low range. All right, we're back at the Carrier Dome on the campus of Syracuse University, where the Miami Hurricanes showed their heels in the second half to win comfortably. The running game looks pretty good.
Well, the defense kept them in the game, as we said at the top. When you talk to coaches about this Miami team, the first thing that they want to talk about is their defense, and their defense didn't disappoint us. They were fast and physical and attacking and swarming. But this is a different Miami team because of the offense. The quarterback is not the dominant player that has been there in the past, and so they can't get the ball to the wide receivers to make those big plays like they have before. So it's the running game, and I think Dennis Erickson and his staff have done a nice job of going to that. They've got the runners. Now they have the offensive line that they can do it, and it showed today.
There were a couple of games of significance out in the western part of the country today, too, as the Southern California Trojans defeated Washington State in Pullman by a score of 23-10. And the Trojans are right there, but it is Oregon that emerges from the day with a 34-10 lead, and obviously they're going to win the ball game. So they come off this day as the team that can control what happens to them. If they can win it out, then they will be going to the Rose Bowl.
Well, it looks like Penn State is going to run the gamut, to run the table in the Rose Bowl, and if Oregon does the same thing, that'll be a matchup there. As far as this one, the Hurricanes set themselves up for an invitation to the Orange Bowl, and it looks like that'll be a matchup with Nebraska, and that should be interesting.
Miami's got to sharpen their tools a tad before they take on Nebraska.
Just a little bit. That Nebraska defense is pretty good.
You're right. So the final here today was 27-6. Miami rolls right along. And remember, Monday night here on ABC, the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys on ABC's Monday Night Football.